From Tucker Stadium on the campus of Tennessee Tech University in Cookeville, welcome to the 2009 Blue Cross Bowl. The 3A championship features 14-0 Milan versus 14-0 Alcoa. From Tucker Stadium on the campus of Tennessee Tech University in Cookeville, welcome to the 2009 Blue Cross Bowl. The 3A championship features 14-0 Milan versus 14-0 Alcoa. Here's the path of how each team reached this championship contest for the Bulldogs. They sailed through with routes of Stewart County, Oak Haven, Camden, and York Institute, while the Tornadoes were a force of nature, tearing through the brackets by an average score of 32-7. Hi, everybody, and there they are. There are the scores. First of all, for Milan, as you see, 4 easy victories, and then on the other side, in their quest for a 6th straight championship, Alcoa laying waste to Tyner, then Walden, then Elizabethtown, so they got through pretty easily. Hi, everybody, and a pleasant good evening to you. I'm Mark Howard, along with Kevin Dyson. We are delighted to bring you this showdown between 2 undefeateds. Alcoa, of course, going for a 6th straight championship. But first, let's check out the key players of the game. And first of all, for Milan, the Tornadoes, for Milan, their big player on defense, Avery Williamson.
Oh, yes, he's going to be key for this. He's a lead blocker for their workhorse, Jabrowski Gilbert, and also he's got to stop the guy on the other side of the field, Mr. JaRon Toney. But he got over 120 tackles. He's a Kentucky signee. He's got a lot of people watching him tonight, see if he's worthy of that Division I scholarship. And
for Alcoa, of course, you mentioned JaRon Toney, who put up record numbers.
Yes, we're talking about over 2,200 yards rushing and a state record for. And try to make plays, so we'll see what happens.
All right, let's check out our booze it and lose it keys to the game. First of all, Dice, what will it take for Milan to win this game?
First of all, you got the revenge factor. You know, you got to think about they lost here last year in the game, and you know they come in here with the chip on their shoulder, want to prove that they deserve to be here, and they want to knock out the top dog off his perch.
And for Alcoa,
no turnovers. You know, stay focused. You've been here before, like you said. They've won 5 state championships in a row. You just want to come out here and prove your worth and be the top dog and leave here with the trophy.
The Bulldogs against the Tornadoes, each 14-0. Something has to give. When we come back, a field report, starting lineups, and the kickoff from here in Cookeville.
We invite you to join the movement. A rebellion against all things motionless, where health has a direction and wellness a destination. Proof that a single action can cause a powerful reaction and keep Tennessee moving together toward a healthy future. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee. Get into the movement at mvmtforlife.com.
We'll be in Nashville, Sevierville, Knoxville, Decaturville, Whiteville, Shelbyville, Graysville, Brownsville, Memphis, Chattanooga, Brentwood, Bell Buckle, Ducktown, Jamestown, Tri-Cities, Mountain City, Lynchburg, Gatlinburg, Copper Hill, Berry Hill, Bulls Gap, Bellmead. We're gonna get you, don't you see? We'll be everywhere, man. Lawbreakers should beware, man. Y'all won't have a prayer, man. If you're traveling, we'll be there, man. We'll be everywhere.
Law enforcement is on the lookout for impaired drivers. Booze it and lose it.
There's a new judge in town, but his bench isn't in a courtroom.
These streets are my courtroom. Street court with me, Judge Maz. That's it.
Judge Maz rules, and the court show will never be the same.
We're going to do it my way.
Street Court.
Weekdays at noon on My TV 30.
From the time I found out that I had cancer, I was determined to beat it. I did my research. Tomotherapy is brand new, and Cookeville Regional Medical Center has it. The therapy pinpoints the cancer. It is non-invasive. There is no operation. There isn't anything that's going inside of you. Going to the gym, hockey games, dealing in the music business. I can live my lifestyle. That's important. Thank you, Cookeville Regional Medical Center.
If you or a loved one used Yaz or Yasmin birth control and suffered a serious injury, financial compensation may be available. Call 888-LAW-5070 for a free legal consultation. Claims are being reviewed for users of Yaz or Yasmin who suffered a heart attack, stroke, gallbladder disease, pulmonary embolism, deep vein thrombosis, or sudden death. Potential claims are also being reviewed for users of the birth control NuvaRing. Call 888-LAW-5070 to find out if you have a case.
Join My TV 30 Sports for the TSSAA Blue Cross Bowl Class 5A Championship. Beach, Columbia. Live from Cookeville on My TV 30.
In Cookeville for the 3A championship game. Mark Howard along with Kevin Dyson, and we'll bring in Murphy Fair in just a few minutes. Milan against Alcoa, both teams, as we mentioned, 14-0 coming in. Alcoa won the toss. They elected to defer, so Alcoa will kick off and Milan will get ready to receive. And Kevin, last year these two teams met in the championship game, and Alcoa won it 28-14. It was what motivated the Milan players all summer long. Their coach, Jeff Morris, said we got physical. We got physically overmatched last year. We worked hard in the weight room during the summer to get stronger and close the gap. Let's get out quickly to Murphy Fair down in the field. Murph?
Well, Mark, we've already seen one upset in a team from West Tennessee winning a championship that a lot of people didn't think they would. Interestingly enough, Milan's head coach, Jeff Morris, his cousin Joe is the head coach for Mayfield, Kentucky. They're playing for a state championship tomorrow. A lot of competition in the family just to determine who's going to be the best coach on championship weekend, not only in Tennessee, but Kentucky as well.
All right, Murph, and there are a lot of connections on each side, and we will touch on them as the game moves along. So Alcoa kicking off. That will be Roberto Castro, and the kick goes down to the 10-yard line, bringing it up across the 25 across the 30-yard line, and a good start. Tim Atkinson, you're going to see him a lot catching the ball, running the ball, and out comes Zach Ryan with the Milan offense.
You know, when you get a big play like that at the start of the game, just get that momentum, just kind of get the nerves out the way. That could have been ugly for Alcoa.
26 seniors on this Milan team. Ryan at the wheel has thrown for 61%, almost 1,600 yards. Out of the eye, Ryan throws, and a short reception by the fullback, Avery Williamson. His 5th reception of the year.
Yeah, we talked about him on defense. We talked about him much for the offense side of the ball, but there he goes trying to get involved early.
All right, let's check out our Baptist Sports Medicine starting lineup. That O-line for Milan, 5 seniors, led by the center, Cody Fuller. And then you see the skilled people, Jabronsky, Gilbert, almost 1,600 yards rushing this season. On 2nd and 7, Gilbert, his first touch, he surges across the 35 up to the 39-yard line. Darrell Warren, maybe the biggest surprise on this defensive line coming up to make the stop, was a dominant player on defense down the stretch, and there is the defense. Tyler Robinson, of course, headed to Kentucky. Also, Darrell Warren, as we mentioned, who had a big year. The linebackers, very talented, led by Toney, who had a boatload of tackles and Mr. Football finalist. And in the secondary, Austin Tallant, who also plays quarterback. 3rd and 2. Gilbert again trying the left side and knifing in to make the stop. Nathaniel Robinson. He is Daniel Robinson's twin brother. Daniel Robinson, of course, at the starting defensive back. A loss of 2, and it will be a 3-and-out on the first possession for Milan.
Yeah, this is not how they want to start this game. I'm sure they want to get some things going, and not necessarily even get points, just kind of build momentum. And then you see something like this happen, 3-and-outs, can be rough. Oh, we got a spread set right now. They can take advantage of it.
Rick Moody into punt. Twin safeties on the 30 for Alcoa, just getting started.
Alcoa's not adjusted. They're not adjusted.
And Moody's going to kick it. Tallant back there. will let it roll inside the 30, and it'll stop dead on the 28-yard line. So we'll get our first look at the Tornadoes offense, led by the aforementioned Austin Tallant, who has a lot of talent. By the way, his parents went to Milan. I'm pretty sure they're rooting against their alma mater today. But Tallant threw for 51%. Didn't throw a whole lot, only 10 touchdown passes, 4 interceptions.
When you got a back like Toney, it's kind of hard to get some throws in.
And we'll get our first look at number 15. He'll be the lone setback behind his quarterback. On first down, there's Toney. Bounced off the first tackler, but then was swarmed under an avalanche of white jerseys. This is a pretty good defense. Chris Bledsoe leading the charge. Broke a wrist in preseason, but came back strong for 41 tackles. There's the offensive line, and you'll notice John Tucker Rankin. He's the son of Coach Gary Rankin. His name is John Tucker for a reason, named after the winningest coach in Tennessee high school football history. There's Toney leading the charge, of course, among the skill players. He picked up no yards on that first touch. It'll be second down and 10. Short drop for Tallant. Under a rush, he keeps it. And he's down at the 29. Give credit to Will Hood. 50 tackles this season, 15 tackles for loss, and 10 sacks, Kevin. He is their best edge pass rusher, but he played the run very adroitly.
You know what? You got to figure that if they're going to be in this game, the defense got to step up.
All right, the Baptist Sports Medicine starting lineup on defense. As we mentioned, Hood, the top man up front, the linebackers. Avery Williamson had an incredible year, over 120 tackles. And in the secondary, Tim Atkinson, watch him, along with Rodney Nance. Both had outstanding seasons. Third down and long for Alcoa on the first possession. Delayed handoff to Toney. Breaks out of an arm tackle, gets across the 30, but that's it.
Williamson.
Sure tackling Avery Williamson. Forces a 3 and out, and all of a sudden the defenses are standing tall in the early going of the first quarter.
I tell you what, just as bad as they started offense by going 3 and out, their defense came out and laid the wood to them and established themselves as a physical presence.
Gary Rankin has won 3 straight state titles in his first 3 years at Alcoa, won 4 state titles during his years at Riverdale, and Tyler Robinson playing for one of the few times this season. Atkinson lets it bounce inside the 20. It'll go all the way down to the 10-yard line. So a humongous punch for Tyler Robinson. 59 yards. Not bad.
It's good how that sport turf.
All right, 7:44 to go, scoreless in the first quarter. You're watching the 3A championship from Cookeville.
I need a complete workup stat and call him.
Sir, we have an urgent phone call.
Pressure's dropping.
This is Charlie. No, that's the aorta. Don't cut that.
People know that farmers have some of the best advice around, like you don't have to be a farmer to save money with Farm Bureau Insurance. Farm Bureau Insurance. Tennessee turns to us.
You want sports? We've got that. George Plaster and Paul Jones cover all your favorite regional athletes on the State Auto Sports Zone. Sunday at 10:30 on My TV 30.
Tennessee Tech University has more than 40 majors plus 23 graduate and doctoral programs, diverse undergraduate research opportunities, co-ops, and internships. Find out more. Visit tntech.edu/start here.
Nashville Sporting Goods supports athletics. We've been there to meet the athletic needs of all ages for over 65 years. We're there when the football team takes the field. We're there for the tip-off at the basketball game. We're there for the opening pitch of the softball game. Nashville Sporting Goods knows the importance of sports in the development of our youth. Having the proper equipment to fully enjoy sports activities is essential. That's why Nashville Sporting Goods is there. We're proud to be supporting athletics.
This week on Titans All Access, a special Wired for Sound. It's Jeff Fisher. We continue our one-on-one conversation with center Kevin Mawai, and we'll preview matchup number 2 between the Titans and the Colts. We've got all that and more this week on Titans All Access.
Watching Jeopardy is a great addition to your day.
Right or wrong?
Right. Be a part of the action all this week.
Tonight at 6 on My TV 30.
Welcome back to Cookeville and Tucker Stadium. Early going of the 3A championship game. Scoreless, second possession for Milan on its own 10-yard line. Looked like a botched snap, and
a lot of things wrong with that.
Yeah, really, that play absolutely a disaster from its inception. Tyler Robinson came in on that handoff to Jabronsky Gilbert, and Tyler Robinson will get credit for the tackle. Tyler Robinson's headed for Kentucky, Kevin, and described by his coach as Jeff Morris, who has 2 state championships in his own right. But Tyler Robinson, considered country strong, reads well. He's 255 pounds. He'll get bigger in college.
Oh, he definitely
see where he ends up. And a flag on the play, presumably against the offense. So
I tell you what, this is an awful start for Milan offense. I'm sure the coaches right now kind of scratching their temples a little bit, trying to figure this thing out.
How much confidence, though, did that defensive stop give the Bulldogs?
Well, I think the defense side, especially the coordinator over there, he's probably feeling pretty good. You know, we know about Alcoa and what they do, the history of it, and obviously their running back, Jabronsky Gilbert, he's a big time guy for them. So, excuse me, not Jabronsky, Mr. Toney, I'm sorry, and he's a big time player for 2,200 yards, 47 touchdowns. So for them, a confidence boost for them, but their offense got to get going right here.
It'll be 2nd and 15. A handoff to the up back. That's Avery Williamson, who plows ahead for 3 tough yards. It'll be 3rd down and long as Milan tries to get out from under the shadow of its own goalposts.
Yeah, this could be a headache right now if they don't get out of this backed up right here.
3rd down and long. As you see, Darrell Warren, one of the mainstays on this Alcoa defense. 2 receivers split to the right. Backs are in the eye. Faking the handoff. The fake to Atkinson. He's going deep down the right side. And the catch is made by Dominique Moore. Near midfield, a big gainer, Dominique Moore, with Stephen Isom defending him, just won the battle for that ball, Kevin.
Sometimes he's got to make a play. It wasn't the best ball that he could throw, sure, but he went up there, he got the receiver, trust his guy to make a play.
There's the fake handoff to Atkinson, and Ryan dialing Dominique Moore, a 6'1", 190-pound senior.
Yeah, that's a tough play on the corner. It's kind of behind him, kind of lose side of the ball a little bit, and the receiver's the only one that can see it.
After the 39-yard gain, the handoff and tough sledding for Jabronsky Gilbert, who averaged 6.5 yards a carry and scored 31 touchdowns. He's had a great postseason. All right, let's go quickly down on the field to Murphy Fair. Murph?
About the similarities between the 2 teams, and mentioned that Tyler Robinson from Alcoa is Kentucky bound. So is Avery Williamson on the Milan side. Those guys are going to be teammates next year, but they'll worry about that a few months from now.
Yeah, not today. Play picked up 4, 2nd and 6. And Milan, just when you thought maybe they were starting to get a rhythm, hello, Darwin Kerr, one of the backbones of this defense, and he enveloped Jabronsky Gilbert.
Oh, he's making his presence felt right now.
No gain on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 6. Zach Ryan does a good job of managing this offense, faster than you think. And as you saw, he's very adept at play action. That's a real skill for a high school quarterback. 2 receivers split to the left, 1 to the right. Ryan stumbles, under pressure, throws downfield, too tall, incomplete, intended for Bo Vandiver. Off his fingertips, Daniel Robinson was downfield in coverage. And let's check it out. It's actually Daniel Robinson on the pass rush. And also Darrell Warren putting the heat on. Instead, it'll be a punting situation. Rick Moody in for the 2nd time to boot it away.
You know, this could be huge for Milan. You know, be able to flip the field like they did. They were deep in their own territory. They got a chance to do the same thing to Alcoa in a field position battle.
Moody averaged over 40 yards a punt. It's when a low kick did it hit. It initially looked like it might have hit an Alcoa player, but it didn't. So it's blown dead on the 29-yard line.
That's kind of a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
You want to flip the field as much as you can. You got out deep out of the end zone. You want to pin them deep. You kind of got a shake punt there. It's a missed opportunity there for Milan.
21 yards on that punt, so we'll get our second look at the Alcoa offense. Jeff Morris, the coach of Milan, he's a Cubs fan, which means he's an eternal optimist. He came in just sure things are going to go right for his team today.
Much like the Red Sox fans used to be, I guess.
Austin Tallant surveying the situation on first down. Pitches it out. JaRon Toney breaking it across the 40, close to midfield. JaRon Toney shakes loose for the first time.
Hey, what a good scheme. They saw something in that first series about how Milan was lined up on defense, and they took advantage of it.
20-yard gain. That student body left, Kevin, working.
Hey, I'll tell you what, they continue to line up the way they do. You're going to see them gashing them on the outside and on the edge a little bit off the tackle.
And Toney, as we mentioned, state record 47 rushing touchdowns. Also set a record for overall touchdowns. This time he tries the right side. Big hole, cross midfield, across the 40. Stops before he goes out of bounds. Finally tackled down.
Kind of like a lead stretch there. You know, it's one of those things. You're looking for the hole, you're trying to stretch as much as you can, and you got your fullback just kind of sealing the edge for you, and you bounce it out.
Tim Atkinson and Rodney Nance combining for the stop, but another first down for Alcoa.
You got a great reach block there by the tackle, and then you got the fullback to seal on the edge, and you just follow him behind, and then you go ahead and hit the outside edge, and the receivers doing their job downfield.
John Birchfield responsible for that block on the right side. So first down, and they'll snap it from the 34. Toney again, the pitch, cuts it inside, breaks that arm tackle, and surges ahead to the 30. Finally riding him down was Chris Bledsoe.
Again, they're still hitting it outside. They must have seen something in that first drive where they thought they can get outside on this team.
Still, they picked up 3 yards on the play. It'll be second down and 7. Alcoa just wears you down. Gary Rankin. People know him in the mid-state, and now he's made a name for himself in the eastern part of the state. On second and 7. Looked like a busted play, and Tallant right up the middle, inside the 20, down to the 10. Austin Tallant, was that a busted play or was that a call play?
It's a quarterback trap. Right. That's a quarterback trap. He faked it to the fullback, fall right behind him through the hole, and he used the tailback as the decoy.
Behind the block of left tackle Marcel Walden.
First down.
Little trap play. You pull the tackle, pull the guard, follow the fullback through the hole, and you got a big play there.
So down to the 10, it'll be first down, goal to go, as it's just inside that stripe. Alcoa threatening for the first time in this game as we get down to the 3-minute mark in the first quarter. Out of the eye. The pitch. Toney looking for a crease. Powers inside the 10, up close to the 6-yard line. Avery Williamson wrangles him down. 141 tackles this season, not bad.
Again, trying to get Toney on the edges.
So already, JaRon Toney starting to rack up some numbers. Alcoa has not been behind all season long.
That's impressive in itself.
With under 2:30 to go on second down and goal. Again, Tallant with that little trap play, and he gets inside the 5. Did the ball come out?
Came out. They threw it.
It came out, and a turnover, a rare turnover. So a big break for Milan.
Threw the beanbag down, he saw it come out. But I'll tell you what, something like that can be a backbreaker for most teams. But I think Alcoa will recover. But Milan has to take advantage of this.
Let's see who got on that ball. It might have been Rodney Nance, number 34. Yeah, right at his feet. And Nance fell on top of it. Good job by the camera crew.
Was that Williamson that got the ball out?
Yeah. So again, poor field position, but a big break, and zeros on the scoreboard so far for Milan. So far, so good.
You know what? Mr. Wildcat is looking like a player right now. He's got a bunch of tackles, caused fumble.
A future Kentucky alumni meeting with Avery Williamson running into the arms of Tyler Robinson.
Another Wildcat. They're taking the show over right now.
Play gains 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7 in a very quick first quarter here at Tennessee Tech, Tucker Stadium. A battle of undefeateds, 14-0 against 14-0 on 2nd down. Ryan rolling right. Picked off.
Great play by
Picked off inside to the 2-yard line. Stephen Isom.
They're in cover 2. That corner just sitting there in the flat, just waiting on him to make that mistake. And he just read his eyes and went to the football. If he went to the curl, he'd been had a big play.
Stephen Isom read the eyes of Zach Ryan, who gets picked off for only the 6th time this season.
If you watch this here, the corner just sitting there in the flat, just waiting on it. No threat in the immediate flat. He jumps it, takes it away. He's got a big play.
Critical error for Milan. Ball is on the 1-yard line.
That's how you read cover 2.
That previous drive for Alcoa, 6 plays, 66 yards. They drained 3:46 from the clock, and now a timeout will be called by Alcoa. So Gary Rankin wants to talk it over with his quarterback, Austin Tallant.
Aside from a couple big runs that Alcoa had obviously in that last drive, Milan defense has been feeling pretty good about what they're doing. Their offense is kind of, the ones got to pick up the pace a little bit. Their defense is playing pretty well. They've given a couple runs, I'm sure, to make the adjustments as they get going.
Even though Alcoa had won 3 state titles under Gary Rankin, a milestone victory, beating Maryville for the first time in Rankin's tenure. Huge win, as he told me, for the community. They played a tough schedule. You look around, they went out of state on a couple of occasions. They beat Bell County, Kentucky to start the season. And their attitude is like Bobby Bowden used to say, any place, anytime, anywhere. And it has toughened them up for this postseason. So 1st and goal for the Tornadoes. Off a Stephen Isom interception. Just 2 plays before that, it was an Austin Tallant fumble. So Tallant with a chance to get some redemption. Smokestack eye. Toney behind 2 blockers, surges in for the touchdown.
Yeah, Milan was just outnumbered over to that weak side. They just took full advantage, put a lineman in the backfield as a fullback and just took full advantage of the situation.
But to Heron Tyson, his fullback, really leading the way there. And Caleb Mangrum, a backup tight end, also in that backfield is JaRon Toney. Makes it 6-0. And now we've got Roberto Castro ready for the extra point. He was 35 of 38 this season, and his kick is up and good. So Roberto Castro makes it 7-0, and on the board first, Alcoa.
Is that his 48th rushing touchdown of the year?
We'll give you the drive in detail. 1 play, 1 yard. 3 seconds off the clock.
That's pretty efficient.
Yes, it is.
I think ball control teams usually want to get some clock right there, but I think they'll take that one.
So Milan going to have to get its offense going. 1 big play so far for the Bulldogs, and that was a Zach Ryan to Dominique Moore pass. Moore had caught 30 balls coming into this game. And we'll see a little bit more of Ryan. They run more because of Ryan. They're able to, and he's more effective off play action. But in order for that to work, you've got to run it effectively.
You got to take your pre-snap reads as a quarterback. If he looked, he saw 2 safeties high. Typically, that's going to be some kind of cover 2, some kind of cover 4. And, when you rolled out and you saw that corner and that safety still staying high, you got to know he's going to be sitting in that flat. You got to give it to him quick, then make a play, or look somewhere else, throw it away.
Castro will be kicking off to Atkinson, standing on his own 10. 7-0 game. And back to get it on his own 10. Bring it up across the 20 and stopped at the 23-yard line was Trey Milan. And that's where the Bulldogs will start. Down in this game by a score of 7-0. And this is where Alcoa gets you. You start turning the ball over. It can be a quick knockout.
It's critical for Milan not to panic right now. You got to know that they're going to throw their punches. You got to come back and fight back. But you don't want to get crazy right here, try to do something out of character.
So far, Zach Ryan 2 out of 4 as he hands it to Gilbert. And Gilbert again stopped after about a 2-yard gain. Another tackle for Nathaniel Robinson, getting some help from Darrell Warren. So Gilbert came into the game averaging 6.5 a touch. Hard to get unleashed against a very talented defensive line.
Right now, that front four, really that front seven for Alcoa is playing extremely well.
2 receivers to the right. On second down, Gilbert again. Stopped up after about a 2-yard gain. Darrell Warren right there to pull him down.
He's watched the kid. He gets his hands on the tackle. Don't let him get a free release to the linebacker, and he squeezed the line of scrimmage and made the play.
So 3rd down and 4. In what will probably be the final play of the first quarter. Alcoa leading 7-0. Got a lot planned tonight. Halftime, booze it and lose it halftime report with Paul Jones. But first on 3rd down, Ryan under pressure. That ball is on the ground. And picking it up and taking it inside the 5-yard line, Nathaniel Robinson. Darwin Kerr with the hit. And the recovery by Nathaniel Robinson.
He shot through that gap too. He saw that ball. He smelled blood. But I tell you what, that protection gotta get more solid. Come right through the gap. Just the nose tackle, just beating his man one-on-one and making a big hit.
And a disastrous end of the quarter for Milan. 2 turnovers inside the 5-yard line.
Making it easy for Alcoa. That's not
you are really making it easy. And Alcoa, of course, in the Farm Bureau red zone. Farm Bureau Insurance. On 1st down, the pitch to Toney, cuts it inside. Tries to win that one-on-one battle, and he's pushed back after a 3-yard gain.
They tried pretty much the same play. You know, they're still trying to run weak. They got the triple stack, as you mentioned before. And they put an extra blocker in the backfield, number 73, a tackle who's used to being in the trenches, lead blocking with a fullback like they have. They're just taking advantage of what they see.
All right, that's the end of the first quarter. After 1, Alcoa knocking on the door, leading 7-0, but threatening to add to that lead. Leading Milan here in Cookeville.
If you're driving under the influence in Tennessee, you're gonna get nailed. Booze it and lose it.
Do you know where I can find
drill bits? L7.
Thank you. Hey, aren't you Charlie?
Charlie's here?
Charlie?
Charlie?
People know that farmers have some of the best advice around, like you don't have to be a farmer to save money with Farm Bureau Insurance. Farm Bureau Insurance. Tennessee turns to us.
Charlie, pick up on line 1. This happens a lot.
It's Toyotathon, an event so big it happens only once a year. And right now, for a limited time, get 0% APR financing on many of your favorite models.
I didn't get one. We've got more.
It's not just an event, it's Toyotathon. Hurry to your Toyota dealer today.
Outrageous. Out of control.
Passionate.
And ho!
What did you call me?
Explosive.
This is not going to end well.
Get the whole story. The Simpsons.
Weeknights at 9 on My TV 30.
Just beginning the second quarter, Alcoa leading Milan 7-0 in the 3A championship. Let's take a look at how the Tornadoes scored. 0-0 late in the first period when Zach Ryan was intercepted by Steven Isom, who took it all the way down to the 1-yard line, and then JaRon Toney cracks the end zone to make it 7-0, and then a hit and a fumble. Nathaniel Robinson recovering for the Tornadoes, and after a run by Toney, they've got it at the 3-yard line, 2nd and goal out of the smokestack eye. Taking the handoff is Tallant. Trying to lead Tyler Robinson in the end zone. It is incomplete. Tim Atkinson back there in coverage, but a flag on the play. So we will check with the lead official, Mike Hammondtree. And by the way, the chain crew from the North Central region. Want to recognize their good work. Interference against Milan, so it's 1st and goal. And some consternation on the face of Jeff Morris, the head coach of Milan. So it'll be 1st and goal, Kevin. And again, Milan can't keep making these mistakes, or they're going to be out of this game in a hurry.
Yeah, that's not what you want. You don't want to be down 2 touchdowns to an experienced football team like Alcoa. It takes your morale from your team and everything else.
We'll see if they go to Toney here. Out of the stack, Toney.
Running weak.
Right side, and he's in again for the touchdown. Behind the block of John Birchfield and Derek Evans. Gary Rankin's team on top, 13-0.
I tell you what, they're just outnumbered up there. They put the strength to the boundary over here and ran everybody else side. Just outnumbered them.
And also leading the way was Taharon Tyson, his fullback. That's 240 pounds. High school fullback is Castro. Tacks on the extra point. It's 14-0.
This is a very important drive for this offense right here, Milan. They got to build some kind of confidence, get some kind of momentum going, and make this game interesting. Because right now it's going to turn into a rout, and the defense can only hold on for so long. You can't stop too many teams on any level of football from inside the 5 in short drives. It's just tough to do.
'Tis the season for giving, but I don't think Milan had that in mind, as JaRon Toney has been there and done that now about 50 times this season. You imagine 50 touchdowns in 1 year. Wow. Did you do that maybe in Pee Wee football?
Man, I don't even know if I had that many combined from Pee Wee to NFL. That's a lot of touchdowns, man.
It certainly is. And Castro will be kicking off again to drive. 2 plays, 5 yards, 15 seconds. Wow. Came off the clock. Making it look easy.
I tell you what, good thing about it, Milan has a whole lot of time. They keep making them short drives like that.
We'll be going deep into our bag of material. A good crowd on hand, by the way, on both sides. A lot of purple, a lot of burgundy. As Castro's kick a little bit short. One of the upbacks takes it across the 30. Up to the 39-yard line. Pretty good run there. And good field position for the first time in a while. Austin Tallant on the tackle. Quarterback plays special teams. How's that? It was Rodney Nance on the return for Milan.
Yeah, sometimes you got to have your best athletes on the field when you can have them out there. So you want to win a championship, you put your best guys out there.
From the 38-yard line, the Bulldogs will start behind the 8 ball by 2 touchdowns. They are what they are. Gilbert, nice run up the middle, twists out of a tackle across the 45 up to the 46. Nathaniel Robinson has already had a busy day in on the tackle.
I tell you what, we talked about Mr. Robinson and some other guys, and I tell you what, he's Mr. Nathaniel Robinson is actually showing up, trying to make a case for the defense player of the game right now.
His cousin is Tyler. His brother is Daniel. And on second down, Gilbert again. Nice hole on the right side. He's got the first down across midfield.
This is exactly what Milan needs right now.
So Gilbert starting to run it downfield or downhill a little bit. Vanderbilt Hambrick in on the stop. As you see the first quarter stats, Kevin.
Wow. Well, you know what? That doesn't say a whole lot about this game situation right here, just because of them 2 short drives. But, you know, you can see kind of how it's leaning.
Those 2 turnovers led to 14 points. And on first down again, Jabronsky-Gilbert this time met with stiff resistance.
You know, as a defensive coach or anybody watching this game, what you like to see is your color jersey around the football. And on that particular play, on a 2-yard play, 10 burgundy jerseys around the football. And that's just good football.
Alcoa flies to the football on defense. That shouldn't surprise anybody the way they play. It'll be second down and 8 from the 44 of Alcoa. Robinson again giving it to and the ball comes loose, and Ryan's on it. A jarring hit by Nathaniel Robinson.
This kid has come to play. He is making a statement right now.
He's only $165, 165-pound linebacker. Small but strong and very physical, according to his coach, and he has demonstrated that in spades so far.
If any kid's watching this game, this is how you fill the hole and put your helmet on the football. Yeah, you know, everybody talks about weight, height, weight, speed. Sometimes football players are just football players, and he's a football player.
Makes it 3rd and 11. Play action for Ryan. Going downfield for more. This time Isom had a good beat on the ball and knocked it away. Thought he might have had the interception. In fact, Dominic Moore played more the defender than the receiver on that play, as it looked like for a second that Stephen Isom was going to get a second interception.
He got a good chance to make play. Actually, this time they ran a different cover. They kind of played quarters, keeping everybody deep. Almost like they anticipated him trying to take another shot there.
Well, Rick Moody, who averaged just over 37 yards a punt, back again on his own 40. And Austin Tallant, the deep man. This time a great boot by Moody. It'll go into the end zone.
A little too good of a boot. He could have used that one he had earlier in the first quarter.
You know, he's a little pumped up after he shanked the first one, so it'll come out to the 20-yard line. Alcoa with the ball and the lead, 14-0. All right, 9:30 to go. As we mentioned, Alcoa leading in the game 14-0. The Tornadoes will tee it up from their own 20 when we come back from Cookeville.
Here's the thing about life. You get back what you put into it. Life rewards those who work harder, who care more, who give it their best, then give a little more. That's what makes the people of St. Thomas Health Services the best at taking care of you and your family, so you can get the most out of life.
Hi, can I talk to you just for a second? I just saw that you came out of Red Lobster.
Yeah, we did.
How much did you spend in there?
50-something.
Okay, yikes. Well, could I show you what you could have got at Captain D's? A wild Alaskan salmon dinner, seafood scampi platter, seasoned tilapia dinner, shrimp skewers.
That is very, very good.
Shrimp lovers trio. All this plus $15 back as well.
Are you serious?
Try Captain D's delicious Shrimp Lovers Trio, seasoned tilapia dinner, seafood scampi platter, and more. Sit-down food at fast food prices.
Let me tell you about Beth. Beth suffered a serious neck injury in a car accident that wasn't her fault. She found herself facing huge medical bills. All she wanted was fair compensation from the insurance company, but all she got was a runaround. That's when Beth called us for help, and her needs became our priority.
Get a lawyer and get it done. Call Hughes & Coleman, 1-800-489-6000.
We fought for Beth, and we'll fight for you.
Play the Barney Scratch and Sniff game. Watch every episode of The Andy Griffith Show and see if you can guess how many times Barney will scratch or sniff.
Yeah.
Scratch and sniff. Scratch and sniff. Scratch and sniff. It's fun. It's easy. The whole family can play. The Barney Scratch and Sniff game, only on The Andy Griffith Show.
$9:30 to go in the second quarter. Alcoa leading Milan by a score of 14-0 in the 3A state championship game. Good crowd on hand from both sides, as we mentioned. There are some Milan students. Mark Howard along with Kevin Dyson, Murphy Fair getting it done on the field. Here's Austin Tallant on first down. JaRon Toney, left side, bottled up. Only gained about a yard. Here's what you like about Toney, Kevin. He appreciates his offensive lineman. Yeah, sure, he scored 50 touchdowns. But after he ran for 6 touchdowns in the monster win over Maryville, he took his O-line out for hot wings, and they ate about 200 of them at a local establishment.
Hey, that's impressive. That's a guy seeing what some of the NFL guys do for their offensive line when they go Pro Bowl, MVP, stuff like that. Man, he appreciates and knows it's not all about him, it's about everybody on that team.
Look at the tight end. Tallant on the middle, intended for Robinson. A little too tall. He tried to go up the ladder to get it, but incomplete.
I'm going to tell you, that's a great play call. That's another one of those Rankin taking full advantage of formation and where they're lining to what they're doing and trying to make a play. That should have been a big play. I know he would love to have that throwback.
That's the first pass thrown by Alcoa. They beat Maryville without throwing a pass in the 41-27 victory. 3rd and 8. The Tornadoes 0 for 1 on 3rd downs. And for the first time, we see Austin Tallant operating out of the gun. He's going to keep it. And not very successful. Only a couple of yards. Getting off the bottom of the pile, Zach Sutton, another undersized lineman, only a $170. The play's bigger than that. And the punting unit will come on.
You know, we've seen a lot of undersized guys who are supposed to be too small to play their particular position.
On 14-0 teams, so they must be doing something right.
They're doing something right.
Tyler Robinson into punt. They didn't have a punter early, so he said, I'll do it.
Hey, the more you can do.
Probably would like that one back.
Well, see, Milan can take advantage of this field position. This is by far the best field position of the night for them at the starter drive anyway. And so we'll see if they can take advantage of it. Their offense has kind of been stagnant other than a couple big runs there by Jabrowski. So we'll see what they can do.
So the anguish on the face of Tyler Robinson, not happy with that punt, but pretty sure he'll have plenty of time to make up for it. With 8:10 to go in the second quarter, good opportunity for Milan. On 1st down, it's Gilbert. Probes the right side. Picks up 3 tough yards. D. Herbert, middle linebacker. Met him. Another guy to watch. You want to see if they'll incorporate him a little more is Atkinson, who's splitting out to the left. He can run it. He can catch it. He's a versatile guy, has a lot of speed. See if they can isolate him on some of it. On 2nd down, the handoff goes to the fullback. Avery Williamson plows ahead over the 35.
You know, Milan, other than a couple of different things that they've done to play action, and they got the pass in the first quarter, they've been keeping it pretty simple, pretty basic. They're going to have to extend some things here, maybe generate some plays, try to get a couple first downs, even get a touchdown here.
There's the longest drive for Milan, 6 plays and 45 yards as they look at a 3rd down. Call it a short 2. As they run to the line of scrimmage.
Need a quick stop from here. There you go.
Out of the eye, it's Gilbert.
They almost need to just get that line up and just try to catch them off guard. They're good they get too much time to get lined up.
We'll see where they spotted it. And they're saying it's 4th down and short. And probably a no-brainer for Morris. They've got to go for it here.
Oh, what do you got to lose at this point?
So 4th down coming. First time we've seen this happen. And Jabrowski Gilbert, built for rough terrain, 5'11", 200 pounds. In their heavy package, here's Gilbert. After initial stop, he's got the first down.
That was a good hard run by him.
Yep.
You know, that's pretty good up front. With Alcoa knowing that's coming, stack the line, he still was able to get the first down.
Tyler Robinson put a lick on him, but Gilbert got the necessary, I don't want to say yards, maybe feet. But he still got the lean, too.
There you go.
And that gives him the first down.
Again, look how many bodies around the football for Alcoa. That's impressive. These guys are getting to the football.
On 1st and 10 from the 30. Gilbert on an ill-conceived play. Darrell Warren was there to blow it up. And the play loses 4 yards. And Jabrowski gets up wondering what happened.
I know Isom has a pick today, but that front seven of Alcoa has come to play. They are making plays up front, making it easy for secondary guys, if nothing else.
And they said forward progress stopped after about 1.5 yards, so it'll be second down. We'll call it a long 11 at the 31. Getting down to 5.5 minutes to go, and of course the Booze It and Lose It halftime report coming up as well. Bryant breaking the first tackle was Gilbert, but a minimal gain back to the original line of scrimmage. John Birchfield, who's in at defensive tackle, combined with JaRon Toney to pull down Gilbert. It'll be third down and 10.
You know, Milan's going to have to do something here. They're going to have to mix it up a little bit.
A little surprised they haven't used more play action. Again, they got Atkinson. They were splitting him out to the left. He's in the slot, and we'll see just exactly where they go here on third and 10. Bryant, play action, looking left, looking for his receiver, and he's got his man, Bo Vanderveer. Van Diver inside the 20 has the first down.
That's exactly what I was talking about. You got to do something a little different. Now I like to see that on first, second down. As you see, a little flash fake that he does here just to get the linebackers to bite up just a little bit so he can peek over them. But out there, run a curl on the outside. They're playing in that quarters look, playing a little soft out there in coverage. Curl up in front of him, hit the ball.
Van Diver, good athlete, good blocker. He can dunk.
Wow.
Not like you, Kevin.
Yeah, about 26 years ago.
From the 17 on first down, Gilbert with some tough sledding gets across the 15 up to the 13. So they're pretty much going meat and potatoes as Milan down 14-0 and really trying to drain the clock here, trying to keep the Alcoa offense off the field.
And you know what? They need to get points here. They just establish only one. Get them back in the game. And two, you know, if you can stop them again to another drive, move the ball a little bit more, you still can get the ball in the second half.
Gilbert on second down as we, of course, are in the Farm Bureau Insurance red zone. A couple of more yards gain. It'll be third down and 5. So again, we're inside of 4 minutes in a 14-0 game. Milan with its deepest penetration of the contest. Ball sitting at the 13-yard line of Alcoa. So we'll see what Zach Ryan goes with here. Gives it to the first man through, Avery Williamson. And it gets close to the 10-yard line. They're going to be well short of the first down. And we'll see just exactly how much confidence they have in the kicking game. Will we see number 3, Rick Moody? It doesn't look like it right now. I think they're going to call a timeout and talk about it.
Timeout.
All right, let's go down to the sidelines in Murphy Fair. Murph?
Hey, Mark, thanks a lot. We've got one of the people here that works for one of the companies that makes this whole thing possible, Gina Beaver with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee. And Gina, once again, great to talk to you. And obviously, it's also great to have Blue Cross Blue Shield as a part of this whole extravaganza.
We are really excited to be here in Cookeville and to be a part of Blue Cross Bowl. This is the 10th year that we've been this title sponsor of the Division I championships and our 5th year for the Division II. So it's been a great relationship for us with CSSAA, and we're just thrilled to be here.
What does sponsoring state championship football do for Blue Cross Blue Shield?
You know, it's not about what it does for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee. It's about what it does for the kids of our state. Tennessee is one of the most unhealthy states in the nation. And if we can teach kids at a very early age, and sports can help do that, healthy habits like the importance of exercise, what to do to stay fit, and the importance of good nutrition, then hopefully we'll be a healthier state in the future.
A little bit of preventive medicine, right? And that saves everybody in the long run.
Absolutely. You know, part of our Movement for Life campaign is a new ad campaign, but it's also a campaign to get all of Tennessee to start making little steps, teeny little baby steps every day for a better, healthy future.
Mark, I think she's talking to you and me. Maybe we ought to start walking laps after this ball game. What do you think?
I'm with you, buddy. We're looking at 4th down and 4. Big play. Biggest one so far for Milan. Bryant into the end zone, trying to lead Dominique Moore, but it's incomplete.
You got to give him a chance to make a play. You know, the one thing about it in that drive, you know, I'm not second guessing the coach, but in a situation like that, you might want to try to get some points off the board just for the morale of your team. But at the same time, hindsight being 2020, you convert that, you get a touchdown, and everybody's happy. So, I understand you got to take a chance here.
So Jeff Morris's Bulldogs come up empty on that 11-play, 30-yard drive. They had good field position, and they took off about 5 minutes on the clock. Their defense has done a good job. 14-0 is a little deceiving because both turnovers occurred inside their own 5-yard line.
Really, Alcoa's only had that one drive where they turned the ball over, but they got the ball right back. So the defense has played extremely well.
Austin Tallant on 1st and 10. Toney trying to find a crease. They were phone boothing him. He got a couple of yards. And there to meet him was Avery Williamson.
Mr. Toney's a workhorse. I think he's touched the ball just by every play but one or two. I mean, they're going to use him. And to be his size, even at this level of high school football, is astounding to me.
He's touched it 11 times so far. He does have 2 touchdowns. So on 2nd down and 8, Toney this time with the pitch. Trying to get to the corner, reverses his field. See if he's successful. Picking up blockers across the 15 down to the 17. A hard-earned 5-yard gain. Avery Williamson, his new best friend.
That was great.
Finally ran him down from behind,
by that defense there. And I tell you what, don't underestimate what number 12 does here on the run back. Mr. Denton. He comes back and forces it back inside so he doesn't get to that outside leg. Watch this. Number 12 comes in, forces it back inside right there, and makes the linebackers everybody pursue and get to the football.
You're talking about cornerback Zach Denton. And it's 3rd and 4. And stunningly, Alcoa 0 for 2 on 3rd down so far. So it's Tallant out of the gun. Going to keep it running right. Austin Tallant will not pick up the 1st down. Another good play. Ranging again to make the stop was Avery Williamson.
Hey, I watched that kid the whole play to see if he's going to be able to make that play. I didn't think he's going to get there, and that is a show what kind of athlete that guy is. Hey, Kentucky's got a player.
And a timeout call by Milan. They're going to get the ball back with about 1.5 minutes to go. So another good defensive stand by the Bulldogs D. Well, they're going to look back on this first half and kick themselves over those turnovers. But, at the moment, you got to just forget about it and move ahead.
And you know what? This is going to be a half of mistakes. Alcoa had the one mistake, but they were able to capture that one back. They forced the turnover almost immediately. So it's going to be a half of, oh, man, we let that get by.
Yeah, you coach high school football, Kevin. You look at that offensive line for Milan, 5 seniors, all weighing 220 pounds and change. They are not formidable in terms of size, but they play well together, and they've got great technique.
Yeah, sometimes the size is kind of overrated. If you got guys to move and teach them technique, crab block, scoop block, down block, all the different techniques it is up front to use, and if they can use their technique, they can be efficient. You can be effective running the football and passing.
Tyler Robinson will kick it. Tim Atkinson in midfield.
Oh, no, they lined up 2 step.
Oh, here they go.
Timeout. Forcing to call one of their timeouts. That was smart by Rankin. You see how much time is left on the clock?
Yes.
Now you force them to have one timeout in a 2-minute drill. Now you force them to do something else. Now we'll see if he comes out. I'm assuming he's not going to give them field position. He's going to come out here, punt formation. He's wanted them to expend one of their timeouts. Exactly what they did. Now they have one timeout left to go however many yards it is after this punt to make a play.
Now, Gary likes to wear the sweater vest.
Yeah.
I don't know if he got that from Jim Tressel, but he was wearing the sweater vest right about the time Tressel hit the scene at Ohio State. And there's Jeff Morris, who had to call that timeout, as you mentioned, because they walked up to the line of scrimmage.
I guarantee from a personnel standpoint, they didn't have the people they wanted there. It looked like they were expecting the punt and things carrying on, but that was very smart by Rankin. That was one of the mind games the head coaches play. He wanted them to expend one of the timeouts, and they did.
6 times in the final for Milan. They've won 4 state championships. 2, of course, under the legendary John Tucker. 2 under Jeff Morris. Gary Rankin's won 7. And if we're together 10 years from now, I think he'll be in double figures.
Great coach. Here we go again.
Going for it again because they want him to call that timeout, I would presume. On fourth down.
Oh, he's got that much confidence.
Are they going to try to get them to jump offside? I think they're going to run the play clock down.
Yeah, trying to get him to jump off.
We'll give a chicken here.
No play call.
All right, don't forget, with 1:37 to go in the second quarter, we've got the Booze It and Lose It halftime report presented by the Governor's Highway Safety Office. Paul Jones and Murphy Fair with a cavalcade of guests. But right now, Gary Rankin's trying to figure out what he wants to do on fourth down.
Yeah, I see him substituting now. They took the big hog mollies out of there, and then they got that punt team in.
Now, right now, both coaches working the officials. The Milan drives have ended in punt, interception, fumble, punt, downs.
The two key things, the interception and punt, both were inside their territory. It ended up giving Alcoa them short drives, which is the difference in this game, obviously.
So finally we see Tyler Robinson out to punt it. And we see Tim Atkinson on the 50.
Accuracy, number 32.
Robinson has had mixed results so far. Not a good punt. They almost blocked it. It's a line drive, and Atkinson really can't touch it as it crosses midfield and gets the desired effect to about the 40-yard line. It was not pretty.
That's when you love the field turn. You get that extra bounce, make it a little harder on the offense there, try to get a touchdown, get some points out of this.
All right, so Milan gets the ball back on their own 40. And we'll see if Zach Ryan puts it up top. We've seen him throw the ball a few times in this game. And he's got some pretty good receivers. Van Diver, capable of catching the ball. He has a reception, as does Dominique Moore.
And you got to take what the defense give you. They're going to sit there in that cover two of that quarters look. You got to do some mixing up with your routes.
On first down play action, he's under heat. And Ryan hit and sacked.
Nathaniel Robinson.
Big Nat.
Hey,
loss of 6 on top of it.
If this was the end of the game, and I got to pick defense play of the game like we do on our radio show, man, that would be my guy right
now. So far, so good. Second down and 16. They're back at the 35. This time they run it. Avery Williamson gets up to the 40. Well, that doesn't really help the process as the clock is under a minute to go.
You know, one of the more impressive things about Nathaniel Robinson is he's 165 pounds. You know, everybody talk about they want that 6'2", 220-pound linebacker that runs a 4.5, 4.6 in high school. This guy is a playmaker. Sometimes football players are just football players.
On 3rd and 11, Ryan again out of play action, going deep down the left side. It is incomplete, intended for Bo Van Diver.
Yeah. These guys give him a chance to even go to play. You know, they threw that to the short side of the field too, with two guys over there. It wasn't a whole lot of spacing over there. It makes it hard for him to complete.
So on comes the punt team, and Zach Ryan going for the bundle. They're going to have to throw it a little bit out of bounds, and I think what his coach is telling him, hard for him to catch the ball when it's outside the white line.
Exactly. They're going to have to figure something out as far as Milan on offense. You know, they got to take advantage of some of the coverages that they're seeing right now.
Rick Moody's had a good night punting under a little bit of pressure, though. Gets it off, and with nobody back there.
They need a good roll right here.
Well, I think the half will be over regardless after one kneel down.
Like I said, he's going to take a knee here. Just let the clock run.
Refs will blow it dead because they have to with 4.7 seconds to go. As we mentioned, Murphy Fair and Paul Jones. Paul Jones, by the way, hit just about every store within a 25-mile radius of Cookeville looking for suitable headgear to keep him warm outside. So hopefully
I know the
mission
feeling,
accomplished.
Man. I know the feeling being on those sidelines on a cold evening. It's miserable. It's so much different than playing and coaching, man. I'm telling you. As a player, you don't feel the cold as much. You know, you go out there, you do your thing, you're warm because your body's moving. You're coaching, you feel every little bit of that heart coming through your clothes.
And I think we can assume an Austin Tallant kneel down here. Has not been a great half for the Alcoa offense. They've been opportunistic but not productive, but that doesn't really matter.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's about the score.
So right now it's 14-0 as we are headed for halftime. Alcoa leading Milan. Alcoa, of course, in search of their 6th straight state championship. And let's go down on the field to Murphy.
Hey, thanks. We got Coach Gary Rankin, the head coach of Alcoa. Gary, obviously up 14-0. Things are going pretty well your way, but you got to make sure, obviously, your kids don't get too complacent, right?
Well, they won't do that. We'll make sure it don't happen in half. And, it's been a pretty good half on both sides. They've got a fine football team, got a great defense, and, scoring points on them is a tough thing. But we get the ball coming out the third quarter and see what we can do.
Gary, thanks for your time. Best of luck in the second half. Gary Rankin, approaching the all-time winningest coach in Tennessee. Maybe in 4 or 5 years he'll get that number, Mark.
He probably will, Murph. But as we mentioned, we're headed to the Booze It and Lose It halftime report. 14-0 Alcoa over Milan, and they'll get the ball back.
We invite you to join the movement. A rebellion against all things motionless, where health has a direction and wellness a destination. Proof that a single action can cause a powerful reaction and keep Tennessee moving together toward a healthy future. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee. Get into the movement at mvmtforlife.com.
Join My TV 30 Sports for the TSSAA Blue Cross Bowl Class 5A Championship. Beach, Columbia. Live from Cookeville on My TV 30.
Papa's in the house.
When Papa's in the house, the holidays are even better.
Your pizza is amazing.
Get a large one-topping pizza for just 99 cents when you buy any large specialty pizza for $15.99. Always made with 100% real cheese. And better cheese means better flavor in every bite. Get more out of your holiday fun. Better ingredients, better pizza.
We are a very close family. Me and my mom are like best friends. I have a degree in computer drafting.
When we went to ITT Tech and we saw the drafting program, I just thought this would be her place, and it was a great school because it was a lot of hands-on.
My mom was the one that helped me decide to go to ITT Tech.
One evening we were coming home, we happened to be driving by, and I just pulled in the parking lot and said, let's go see what they have to offer.
And I started the next day. The teachers, they were very nice, very friendly. Like if you needed to stay for a while and needed help with your work, they'd help you. My passion is coaching girls ice hockey. That was another big thing. I had time to do things that I enjoyed while going to school. But then at graduation, they gave us a rose to give to the person that influenced you the most. So I gave it to my mom. Really, if it wasn't for her pushing me to go, I probably would have still been at home.
I'm extremely proud of you. It's been a wonderful experience to watch you grow and become a real woman.
We are educators helping people build a foundation for the rest of their lives. ITT Technical Institute, education for the future. Call 1-800-ITT-TECH or visit us on the web.
This week on Titans All Access, a special Wired for Sound. It's Jeff Fisher. We continue our one-on-one conversation with center Kevin Mawai, and we'll preview matchup number 2 between the Titans and the Colts. We've got all that and more this week on Titans All Access.
Booze it and lose it. A reminder from the Governor's Highway Safety Office, proud sponsors of the halftime report here at Tucker Stadium in Cookeville. 24 minutes into the 3A championship, the Alcoa Tornadoes leading the Milan Bulldogs 14-0. I'm Paul Jones alongside Murphy Fair, the man we like to refer to as the guru of high school football. You've seen a lot of games, Murphy. What are your impressions of this first half between Milan and Alcoa?
Well, I think exactly the exact same thing that Milan did not want to happen has happened. They're turning the football over, and obviously Alcoa is doing a great job of taking advantage of those turnovers, and that's why we got a couple of scores on the Tornado side.
Alcoa has proven over the years that you can afford, maybe about 0 turnovers if you want a chance at beating them. So obviously Milan has to limit that in the second half.
Yeah, and I'd say Coach Jeff Moore is certainly not necessarily excited about what's happened, but he's very fortunate to be down a couple of touchdowns, and I'm sure he's telling his kids, look guys, we're still in this ball game. We just got to hold on to the football and keep those drives alive, keep marching on down the field, and we can go back and make a ball game out of this thing.
Earlier this afternoon on our Road to the Blue Cross Bowl special, you and I had a chance to catch up with Gary Rankin, and he told us that he felt lucky, fortunate to be where he is, a guy who's played in 13 state title games during his time at Riverdale and now Alcoa. Is it luck? Is it good fortune? Or is he just an absolutely great coach?
Well, it's probably a little bit of all of those things. And you know as well as I do, luck comes from great preparation. And there's not a whole lot of guys out there that have a better game plan than Coach Rankin. He's surrounded himself with good people, not only here, but when he was at Riverdale High School also. And everyone will tell you, even in the military, a general is only as good as his lieutenants. And Gary's got some great lieutenants out there, and that helps make his job a whole lot easier.
As the second half approaches, Jeff Morris obviously has a lot of pressure on his team. How do they respond?
Well, they've been behind before, and they know what that's like. They were behind last year and made a pretty good game out of it. He's just got to try to reassure his kids that they're not out of the ball game yet, that there is still time to come back on this Alcoa team.
Pretty soon we will have our answer. Will it be 6 in a row for Alcoa or the first state title for Milan since 1999? Right now, they're halfway home. 14-0 Alcoa on top. Back with more halftime after this.
Caterville, Whiteville, Shelbyville, Graysville, Brownsville, Memphis, Chattanooga, Brentwood, Bell, Buckle, Ducktown, Jamestown, Tri-Cities, Mountain City, Lynchburg, Gatlinburg, Copper Hill, Berry Hill, Bulls Gap, Bellmead, we're gonna get you, don't you see? We'll be everywhere, man. Lawbreakers should beware, man. Y'all won't have a prayer, man. If you're traveling, we'll be there, man. We'll be everywhere.
Law enforcement is on the lookout for impaired drivers. Booze it and lose it.
Church's is serving up big taste on the go. Church's Tender Strips, freshly prepared just like our famous chicken. All white meat strips, always juicy and crunchy. Stop by and get 3 tender strips with a hot biscuit for only $2.99. Church's.
If you've been injured in a car accident, here's reason number 4 why you should call Hughes & Coleman. Clients first.
You're the most important person in our office. So when you have something to say, we listen. We take the time to get to know you and how the accident has affected your life. We've helped thousands of accident victims, and we can help you too.
If you've been injured in a car accident, get a lawyer and get it done. Call Hughes & Coleman, 1-800-489-6000.
Are you quick as a whip? Sharp as a tack?
Very focused.
Wise as an owl?
Oh, God.
But most importantly, are you smarter than a 5th grader?
You are right! That's the right answer.
Are you smarter than a 5th grader? Find out 5 times a week.
Tonight at 6:30 on My TV 30.
Happy season's eatings from Church's. 'Tis the season for family meals. Like Church's Holiday Bundle. Get 8 big mixed pieces of our freshly prepared chicken, 4 biscuits, and creamy mashed potatoes, all for $9.99. Church's.
Paul Jones back live at Tucker Stadium in Cookeville. Halftime of the 3A title game. Alcoa on top of Milan. 14-0. This is a huge event for the city of Cookeville, and understandably so. When you host the TSSAA football championships, it's just a big turnout for everyone and a big party. George Halford from the Cookeville Chamber of Commerce, good enough to join us here at halftime. And you were just telling me a few minutes ago, George, this is like Cookeville's Super Bowl, right?
No question. No question. This is our Super Bowl. And I hope the excitement shows, because we're very, very excited.
Take me through the bidding process. Obviously, Murfreesboro had this event for many years leading up to this. This is an event that you clearly wanted and you went after hard.
Yeah, and Murphy, you were involved, obviously. I'm trying to give you a 15-minute chamber speech, but our community's been involved. We're going to another level, and we decided that we would go after this, if for no other reason, but just to learn how to compete at this level. And we were told that this was going to be a very objective process, that Murfreesboro had done a fine job and does the spring fling and other things. It had this for 8 or 9 or 10 years. And so, but we knew, much like Hoosiers, or for your audiences my age or a little older, the Robert Redford and Paul Newman and the Sting, from the time TSSAA hit our city, we were on. Everything from the president of our university, our city manager, our Tennessee Tech, our county. So we knew we had to be 100% to have a chance.
Murphy, you witnessed the presentation and all that Cookeville did. It obviously must have been very impressive, huh?
Well, they've certainly lived up to the billing. We were talking just before we came back from the break about how friendly everyone's been. George, last night as I was leaving the stadium, I encountered a motorcycle policeman from the city of Cookeville. I just said, hi, how you doing? He said, well, how you doing? How's your day been? Are we treating you right up here? So, I mean, everyone involved in this process is following the cue cards to perfection.
Yeah, we have between 300 and 400 volunteers. People are excited, a lot of pride. This is Murph and I were just talking off air, this is an unspoiled region. We still have the values, the old-fashioned values, and to have 25,000 people, or how many ever come, to showcase Tennessee Tech for prospective students. You're going to have families that have never been to Cookeville or never been here. The marketing value we couldn't afford to pay for. So it's just we're very blessed. The circumstances were such that we were able to, they took a chance on us, quite frankly.
You had a really good turnout for the South Pittsburgh Union City game to start the weekend. This one looking like a really good crowd, and it's going to be probably the best of all for the 5A championship tonight between Beach and Columbia.
And Paul, what a ball game. It's so great to not have a dog in the race and be sitting there watching two great teams a while ago. And I'm in the media room at the end. And I tell you, the hardest part is watching these kids come in with tears in their eyes, and y'all saying that finished second. They're all winners, but that's, my heart goes out to those guys.
Paul, very quickly, you're on the TV every day. I'm on it a few times during football season. This guy here's got fans all around heckling him, trying to give him a hard time.
Which means we probably should let him go so he can go sign a few more autographs, huh, George?
Well, thank you for the support, all of you, and the confidence. It's great, and we really appreciate it. We just hope to earn the right to keep doing it.
All right, George Halford from the Cookeville Chamber of Commerce, congratulations on what has already been a fabulous weekend, and we're not really even into Saturday. Halftime of the 3A Championship. The halftime report continues after this.
Thanks, Ken.
Now we'll hear quotations from some famous Americans.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Now here's a classic.
Ask not what your country can do for you.
This one needs no introduction.
If you find yourself in a hole, stop digging.
People know that farmers have some of the best advice around, like you don't have to be a farmer to save money with Farm Bureau Insurance. Farm Bureau Insurance. Tennessee turns to us.
Join MyTV30 Sports for the TSSAA Blue Cross Bowl Class 4A Championship. Greenville, Giles County, live from Cookeville on MyTV30.
Introducing Arby's $5 and 1 cent roast beef patty melt combo with our famous curly fries and a drink. That's just $5 and 1 penny.
What's a penny for? The penny's for oven roasted, freshly sliced roast beef.
Pardon me. My penny's for the toasted sourdough bread.
Mine is for the melted Swiss cheese. My penny's for curly fries.
That's $5 and 1 penny for any one of our 5 great combos with curly fries and a drink, like our roast beef patty melts. Arby's $5 and 1 cent combos, worth every penny.
It's Toyotathon, an event so big it happens only once a year. And right now, for a limited time, get 0% APR financing on many of your favorite models.
I didn't get one. We've got more.
It's not just an event, it's Toyotathon. Hurry to your Toyota dealer today.
You want sports? We've got that. George Plaster and Paul Jones cover all your favorite regional athletes on the State Auto Sports Zone. Sunday at 10:30 on MyTV30.
Booze it and lose it. A reminder from the Governor's Highway Safety Office, proud sponsors of the halftime report here at Tucker Stadium in Cookeville. Halfway home in the 3A championship, the Alcoa Tornadoes on top of the Milan Bulldogs. 14-0. A fairly entertaining first half, although it did take a while to get some highlights, but as in every high school game, you do eventually get those great plays, and we have the first half highlights to show you from this game. We'll show you how Alcoa did jump out to that 14-0 lead here at Tucker Stadium in Cookeville. As we show you the first half highlights, it starts with Milan in possession of the ball. Quarterback Zach Ryan, the quarterback from Milan, dropping back, looking deep for Dominique Moore. Nice catch by Mr. Moore, 39-yard gain, but it did not lead to any points. Alcoa's turn now. JaRon Toney has 47 rushing touchdowns this season, a state record. There's a 20-yard gain, and then later in the drive, trouble for Alcoa. Austin Tallant fumbles. Rodney Nance recovers for Milan, but no worries right after that. Ryan is picked off by Steven Isom. He takes it back to the 1-yard line. Alcoa is in business. Cue Toney, his 48th rushing touchdown of the season. The Tornadoes take a 7-0 lead. Late first quarter, Darwin, Kerr, and Darrell Warren converge on Ryan. Nathaniel Robinson says, I'm taking it to the house, but he comes up just a few yards short. But it didn't really matter because they get in for the touchdown. Right there, Gary Rankin raising that finger as to say, hey, we're going for one, but also he may mean we are number one. Alcoa leading 14-0 at the half, thanks to that second Toney touchdown of the night. You take a look at the statistics. Big advantage in the rushing game for Alcoa. Passing yards, 0 for them. Total yards, though, fairly even. Third downs, conversions, 2 of 9 for Milan. And points off turnovers, that's the big statistic right there. 14 for Alcoa. That has more than made up for the difference in time of possession. The Tornadoes actually losing that advantage right there, but ahead. Very important, the most important one of all, ahead on the scoreboard. We will see if Alcoa can win its 6th straight state title. Gary Rankin up to his magic again, but Milan still has some time to turn things around. Back with the second half after.
We invite you to join the movement. A rebellion against all things motionless, where health has a direction and wellness a destination. Proof that a single action can cause a powerful reaction and keep Tennessee moving together toward a healthy future. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee. Get into the movement at mbmtforlife.com.
When I think back on all the years of marauding and pillaging, the sacking of ancient cities, the crushing of entire civilizations, I have to say my proudest moment was March 15, 2005.
Doug, who was Attila the Hun? He's the one.
That's when I knew I'd finally arrived.
Jeopardy! Making history for 25 years.
Weeknights at 6 on My TV 30.
Introducing Arby's $5.01 roast beef patty melt combo with our famous curly fries and a drink. That's just $5.01.
What's a penny for? The penny's for oven roasted, freshly sliced roast beef.
Pardon me. My penny's for the toasted sourdough bread.
Mine is for the melted Swiss cheese.
My penny's for curly fries.
That's $5.01 for any one of our 5 great combos with curly fries and a drink, like our roast beef patty melt. Arby's $5.01 combos, worth every penny.
It's Toyotathon, an event so big it happens only once a year. And right now, for a limited time, get 0% APR financing on many of your favorite models.
I didn't get one. We've got more.
It's not just an event, it's Toyotathon. Hurry to your Toyota dealer today.
Christmas sale at Family Leisure. Get a gift for the whole family. Silly pool tables, $8.99. Bar with stools, $6.99. Home theater seating, $7.99. Game room items, 1 year free financing.
From our family to your family.
Merry Christmas.
Even though my fine needlework still waves patriotically today, I'd have to say my proudest moment was October 10th, 2005.
Madeline.
Who's Betsy Ross?
You got it.
Jeopardy! Weeknights at 6 on My TV 30.
All right, welcome back. Alcoa leading Milan 14-0 as we head into the third quarter in the 3A championship game. As we mentioned, the Tornadoes seeking their 6th straight state title. They're 10-1 in championship games. Wow. So you're talking about 2 programs with proud traditions. As we mentioned, the irony of Gary Rankin naming his son John Tucker after the winningest coach in the history of high school football. who plied his trade at Milan.
Little side.
And you've also got Austin Tallant, the Alcoa quarterback, whose parents were both Milan grads.
Little sidebar. How about these kids out here with no shirts on? It's freezing outside, man.
I don't know how they do it.
I don't either.
Anyway, to start the second half, kicking off, we get a chance to see Moody. And he boots it down to the 1-yard line. Actually, 1 foot in the end zone and coming out to the 10. Across the 15 to 20 down the sidelines. And a big pickup there for JaRon Toney, who's doing it all tonight. Big game.
Big time. That's probably the last person they wanted to kick it to.
38 yards on the return.
You know what? This is probably the last guy on this field they wanted to kick that ball to, man. He almost took this thing to the house.
So Toney, who had a pretty productive first half with 11 carries and 60 yards and 2 touchdowns, averaging 5.5 a touch.
You know, that's kind of a quiet 60 yards, you know?
It is. And he's adding to that total as he squeezes through a hole across the 40 up to the 42 before Chris Bledsoe took him down.
And I would venture to guess that the majority of those 60 yards came in that second drive of the game when they fumbled it later on in that drive in the first quarter.
Tallant, the quarterback. Coach refers to him as a foxhole guy. They've asked a lot more of him than they'd like to because he's played on defense because he's just so valuable. And moving ahead across midfield again, getting his first touch of the game is JaRon Tyson, the fullback. You got to figure a 240-pound fullback has to be tough to tackle, and he gets the first down in midfield.
Yeah, man. Hey, the more guys you have the capability to run the football, the better you'll be. You see this little quick hitter. He got good feet and hit the holes hard. Lineman got some good push-ups.
Upright runner, but still explosive. And he's going to win the long
legs.
Yeah, he's going to win the matchup against most high school tacklers. And again on first down, Toney getting the call.
I guarantee that's Williamson. That's got to be Williamson.
Avery Williamson has had a busy day, and that was no different.
That's his 8th tackle of the night, man.
That was only Alcoa's 4th first down of the game.
So that doesn't even tell the whole story. That's what's so phenomenal about the 14-0 game. Milan's defense played pretty well.
They don't need to throw it very much. On second down and 10, again it's Toney cutting it inside and tackled after a 3-yard gain. Christian Coleman getting in on the act. Coleman had injured his ankle earlier in the season, but came back strong. He had 36 tackles, a sack, a forced fumble, and he brought down JaRon Toney on that play to make it 3rd down and 6 for the Tornadoes at the 46 of Milan.
Yeah, you did what you want your interior lineman to do. You know, you play your man, extend your hands, and run the play down down the line. So he made a good play for him.
Possible passing down. They're 0 for 3 on 3rd down of the Tornadoes. Tallant. Instead, the delayed handoff. And again, Toney broke that first tackle, but didn't get a whole lot farther downfield as Chris Bledsoe again rode him down. It'll be 4th down.
4th down. They tried to run that trap, and obviously the linebacker read the lineman, got to the play, filled the hole filled the gap. Excuse me.
Tyler Robinson will be back in punt formation. And again, we'll see Tim Atkinson move his heels inside the 15.
Is this fake territory?
Possibly. Robinson steps up and hits it.
Oh, he's got to catch that one. He's got to catch that one.
That 2-yard run gave Alcoa 100 total yards in the game as we get our first look of the second half of Zach Ryan and company. .8:51 to go, 3rd quarter. Alcoa leading 14-0. Milan with the ball for the 3A championship.
I need a complete workup stat and call him.
This is Charlie. No, that's the aorta. Don't cut that.
People know that farmers have some of the best advice around, like you don't have to be a farmer to save money with Farm Bureau Insurance. Farm Bureau Insurance. Tennessee turns to us.
I was working at a dead-end job. I was getting old at the age of 21, so I made the decision to go back to school.
My son is the reason why I went to school in the first place.
I got my associate's and bachelor's degree from ITT Tech. At ITT Tech, they took me through everything from basic components, electronics, all the way through software programming.
ITT Tech was my platform, where I learned the basics of what I needed for my career.
It was a great surprise when I found out that at ITT Tech, the schedules are somewhat flexible, and because of that, I was able to spend time with my son.
And being able to take what I've learned at ITT Tech and apply that knowledge successfully has been my greatest accomplishment.
Now I work as an IT specialist for the federal government.
My whole life has turned around now that I have a career.
So yes, there are going to be obstacles, but ultimately, you can get it done.
3 years from now, I can see myself in a house of my own and still learning the trade.
We are educators helping people build a foundation for the rest of their lives. ITT Technical Institute, education for the future. Call 1-800-ITT-TECH or visit us on the web.
Hi, can I talk to you just for a second? I just saw you came out of Red Lobster.
Yeah, we did.
How much did you spend in there?
50-something.
Okay, yikes. Well, could I show you what you could have got at Captain D's? A wild Alaskan salmon dinner, seafood scampi platter, seasoned tilapia dinner,
Yeah.
shrimp skewers,
That is very, very good.
shrimp lovers trio. All this plus $15 back as well.
Are you serious?
Try Captain D's delicious Shrimp Lovers Trio, seasoned tilapia dinner, seafood scampi platter, and more. Sit-down food at fast food prices.
Milan down 14-0 in the 3A championship. And deep in its own territory, Mark Howard along with Kevin Dyson, Murphy Fair on the field, and the rest of our terrific crew here in Cookeville. And Jabronsky Gilbert gets a rude greeting from Darwin Kerr to begin this drive. Kerr's had a big night, forced a fumble, and really maybe the key play in the game. It was 7-0. He managed to hit and strip Zach Ryan, and Nat Robinson recovered to set up the second Alcoa touchdown.
Yeah.
How do you spell insanity?
Alcoa.
Yeah. Atkinson finally gets a touch as they swing it out to him. He gets across the 20, close to a first down. And this is what Milan's going to have to do to move the ball.
You know, they need to mix it up a little bit. Do some things like the bubble screen. Get the guys on the edges a little bit. Maybe a quick hitter like a hitch or a slant. Something to make Alcoa adjust. Right now, they're just kind of being able to sit there in their base defense and winning the game up front.
Atkinson ran out of his shoe, so he has to go on the sidelines for a play. It'll be second down and very short. And this might be a situation, Dice, where they take a shot downfield. Ryan, very adept at play action. Now they say first down, so it's a moot point. But still.
Even still, I like what you're saying, man. You might as well take a shot here. You know, they've been taking a shot on 3rd and long. You know, why not here on 1st and 10? You got 2 extra downs to play with.
Instead, they give it to Gilbert, tries to cut it upfield, gets across the 25, takes a couple of hits. Alcoa gets such acclaim for its unbelievable offense, and you know, JaRon Toney had that incredible year, but the Tornadoes defense has allowed just over 8 points a game, and here's why. They might not be big, but as you mentioned, Kevin, they fly to the ball and they tackle well. As you see Darwin Kerr again with another stop. And this time they try the left side.
Mr. Robinson, the Kentucky grad, or the signee, I should say, not grad. Signee.
Get it up to the 30.
Plays very well on that edge, man. Gets his hands on the guy. Don't let him get a free release to the linebacker and squeezes down the play. Runs it down.
Be interesting to see what side of the ball Kentucky puts Tyler Robinson. He's a good tight end. But at 255, you figure they can put a little more weight on him. He can be a beast on the D-line. This play, 3rd and 2 for Milan out of the eye. And they give it to the up-back Avery Williamson, who tries to surge ahead. It's going to be close. Again, we'll see where the spot is.
Tackle by number 6,
and they'll say it first down.
This is a very good drive for Milan.
First down.
You want to be able to flip this field a little bit after you get pinned deep in your own territory. And you know, the one thing about it is the first drive, the second half, you want a little confidence boost to say, we can play in this game.
Avery Williamson benches close to 400 pounds. Much like you, Kevin.
Ha! Yeah.
He is a weight room warrior as they try that bubble screen. And they get it out to Atkinson.
Very good
for minimal yardage. Yeah, you're right. So Tim Atkinson with his second catch of the half. As Stephen Isom, who has an interception, pulled him down. And Gary Rankin has to like what he's seen out of his D. I mentioned they've averaged giving up only about 8 points a game. They have 3 shutouts. They've only given up double-digit points 3 times this season, 4 times this season.
That's impressive.
Still pretty impressive, you're right. On second down, Gilbert trapped behind the line.
Mr. Robinson. Hey,
start doing Simon and Garfunkel, but whatever the case.
I tell you what, the Robinson family is making a case for themselves right here. I mean, between Nathaniel and Tyler and Daniel, they're all coming here and made plays in one form or another.
They're looking at 3rd and 9. Let's go down to Murphy real quick.
Mark, thanks a lot. We've got Kendall Poole with the Governor's Highway Safety Commission, or Safety Office, and we talked the last game about this booze it and lose it thing, but you all are involved in so much more than that. I know the right team, one of the things that TSSAA really enjoys, you all have got a big part in that as well.
It is, and it's not just our sponsorship of the championship events, but our partnership with TSSAA includes the right team through the magic of Stephen Bargatze going into high schools and talking about students making the right choices. We're not talking about just athletes. We're talking about students across the board. And, not drinking and driving, always wearing your seatbelt, observing the speed limit, those types of things that are going to change behavior. And last year alone, they talked to over 40,000 high school students across the state of Tennessee. So we're very, very happy, not only with our sponsorship of the championship events, but also through Stephen and the right team going into the schools.
Well, like you say, this whole message that you're trying to bring about, it's not just directed toward the athletes, not just toward the high school students, but their parents, and it's like a domino effect.
It's the community as a whole, and we want people to seize on the message in each community and talk to the younger people and talk to their loved ones, talk to their family members about making good choices, because all the statistics that we talk about, Murphy, every one of them tells a story, and we want to try to reduce those tragic stories that we have to tell in the state of Tennessee.
Absolutely, and a great story going on the field right now, Mark. Back up to you.
That pass intended for Bo Vandiver, and a few plays earlier you saw our guy, Tim Atkinson, catch a 19-yard pass. Again, Isom, who's been fantastic in coverage tonight, with Vandiver step for step. And you just don't defend any better than that, Kevin.
I look on that defense over there, and you see guys that obviously can play at the next level. You got Robinson, Isom, Mr. Warren. You got several guys over there that I'll be going to say we're going to see playing on Saturdays.
11th play of this drive, and they motion out Williamson. Ryan off play action throws, and he's got Dominique Moore for a first down, and all of a sudden Zach Ryan, his arm getting hot.
I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I'm going to toot it. So I'm going to say, we talk about getting some quick hitters, some slants, things like that. And we've seen it 2 times in here, and they've gotten 2 critical first down.
He got him on the in cut, and it's another first down for Milan. Clay Anderson checks into the game. He's another possible target at tight end. So going to all of his receivers is Zach Ryan. He's 3 for 3 on 3rd downs on this drive. Got something going here. Gilbert across the 30. Well, nice stop by D. Herbert, and Darrell Warren assisted. 4-yard pickup.
Hey, they must get points out of this drive. They're wearing their defense down. It was just the 13th, 14th play of the drive. They're being efficient. They're beating with the pass. They run the ball effectively. This is good, very good drive. Now, this is how you come out second half and establish yourself.
13th play of this drive, and Milan has dominated this game in terms of time of possession. Getting through the first level was Gilbert across the 25. Another significant gain. It'll be 3rd down. We'll call it about 3.
This is where offense coordinators can deal. You got short yards on 3rd down. You got a lot more plays in your playbook that you can take and try to get something to happen. You can pass it. You can run some kind of lead. You can run something. You can even run the football, where in most cases 3rd downs are passing down.
Another big play coming up for Milan, as you got to figure they're in 4-down territory.
Oh, they didn't call it.
And they didn't call it. There was a little movement up front, but getting the first down was Jabronsky-Gilbert as he punctures the left side of that defensive line.
I guess because he's going backwards, he wasn't going forward. That's probably why they didn't call it. But then again, it's 3rd and short. You got an opportunity. Your playbook is a little thicker than 3rd and 12, 3rd and 11, things of that nature. If it's 3rd and short, you could do a lot of different things with your play calling.
So the ball will be nested at the 21, 1st and 10 for Milan. In a very quick third quarter at Tucker Stadium in Cookville. It's been a good show so far. Fumble.
Oh, wow.
Leaving it on the ground, and Alcoa has it.
That's just devastating.
Oh, that is.
They've gone just about the length of the field to have that happen. That's
reserve defensive end Joe Cooper on top of it. And he's getting a lot of congratulations there. He's a senior, doesn't get a lot of playing time. He was spelling Tyler Robinson there. And Joe was Johnny on the spot.
Wow. You talk about taking a win from yourselves. This could be devastating right here. If Alcoa can come out here and put some points on the board, that can be all she wrote.
A real gut shot to Milan. Alcoa's offense really hasn't done much.
Yeah.
They got, to say they had 2 short fields, a 1-yard drive and a 4-yard drive have been their touchdowns. And on first down, JaRon Toney bottled up for a very short game.
Yeah, that's been their one saving grace is their defense. Their defense is playing extremely well right now.
A squandered opportunity in a drive that went 15 plays, took up 6.5 minutes, and ends with a turnover.
Yeah. You know, one thing about that drive, even though you turn the ball over, you know, if they can stop them here and not give me points, you can say, okay, we can move the football on this team. We can do some things right here. We've seen some chink in their armor right now that we know we can go out here and score. So, you know, they got to get a stop here, though.
On 2nd and 8, Alcoa playing it close to the vest. Toney trying to get outside, and he is caught behind the line and dropped.
Get a holding call. They're going to get a holding call on this, too.
And they'll probably decline it. It was a loss of 4.
Yeah.
Great play by Qantas Crudup, a reserve defensive end. Showed great pursuit as he hemmed in the play and also made the tackle.
Oh, they gave forward progress.
And still, I think they'll take the play because it means 3rd down.
On the offense, that penalty is declined. It's 3rd down.
3rd long. And what you say, Mark? They're 0 for on 3rd down this game?
So far. We'll see what Super Joe the stat man has to say about it. Yeah, they're 0 for 4 on 3rd downs. Doesn't matter. They have made the most of their opportunities in their own territory. Very few visits so far to the Farm Bureau Insurance red zone.
Tell you what, Isom here is 6'3". Say they go there.
On 3rd down, Tallant instead, the delayed draw. And trying to bounce it outside is Toney. Cannot spin out of a tackle. And it'll be 4th down. Again, good pursuit by the Milan defense. And getting a much-deserved pat on the head is Rodney Nance.
I tell you what, Chris Bledsoe right here makes this play. You know, he doesn't make the tackle initially. You know, he forces him to go somewhere he doesn't really want to go, let the pursuit come.
It's going to be interesting here is Tim Atkinson. Can he get his hands on the ball? Here's the play. And watch Nance, 34.
Look at Bledsoe. He's the one that extends the play and able to get to it. And he makes the play.
So Tyler Robinson punting again. Oh. They go after him, and it's a line drive. Will Atkinson try to run it back?
Oof. He's got to catch those. Low line drive. He's got to step up and catch it.
That was almost touched by a Milan player. It would have been a disaster. The punt was 28 yards. So again, the Bulldogs have great field position. Their own 47. Plenty of time in the game as we're at the end of the 3rd quarter, but still. They get it in the end zone, it could get interesting. Zach Ryan on 1st down. Hands it to Gilbert. Pushes ahead across midfield up to the 46. Gilbert not busting big runs, but getting consistent 4, 5, 6-yard gains as Darrell Warren was there to terminate the play.
Made this whole 3rd quarter real short. You know, Les Steck used to say, you go 4, 4, 4, you got 12 yards. That's 1st down in any football field. So that's pretty impressive. Keep getting these extended runs.
And Les would also say that's the end of the third quarter, Kevin. Alcoa leading Milan for the 3A state championship, 14-0. 12 minutes to go, maybe more. Buckle up.
We invite you to join the movement. A rebellion against all things motionless, where health has a direction and wellness a destination. Proof that a single action can cause a powerful reaction and keep Tennessee moving together toward a healthy future. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee. Get into the movement at mvmtforlife.com.
If you're driving under the influence in Tennessee, you're gonna get nailed. Booze it and lose it.
Papa's in the house.
When Papa's in the house, the holidays are even better.
Your pizza is amazing.
Get a large one-topping pizza for just 99 cents when you buy any large specialty pizza for $15.99. Always made with 100% real cheese. And better cheese means better flavor in every bite. Get more out of your holiday fun. Better ingredients, better pizza.
We're out here asking ordinary people ordinary homework questions. What colors do you mix to get green? This is why there's Homework Hotline. We help hundreds of kids with their homework. We don't give them the answer, but we help them find the answer.
Snodgrass King Homework Hotline, 298-6636. Or call the Sonic toll-free line at 888-868-5777. Sponsored by AT&T and Sonic Drive-Ins. 668-5777. Sponsored by AT&T and Sonic Drive-Ins.
Ready to go for the fourth quarter. Alcoa leading Milan 14-0. Jeff Morris on the right of Milan, Gary Rankin on the left for Alcoa. Both coaching up storms. And Jabronsky Gilbert gets another touch. And he pushes ahead for about a yard. But again, meets stiff resistance from that defensive front of Alcoa.
The ball carrier, number 29.
So it'll be third down and 2. And Kevin, Zach Ryan did a good job on the previous drive of moving the ball through the air. You see Tim Atkinson split out to the right. Instead, they give it to Gilbert, who gets the first down.
Hey, they found something in this running game. I don't know what they're seeing on film just yet, but they found something. For some reason, they're starting to get some of these 4 and 5. They're chunking them a little bit right now.
There are the third quarter stats. Kevin, look at the time of possession dominated by Milan.
Yeah. You know, most coaches would say we'd love to, at the end of the game, hold the ball for 3/4 of the game because you give yourself a chance to win. But when you give up 2 short drives for touchdowns, it's hard to win those games.
And Gilbert this time stuffed by the middle of the Alcoa defensive line, Tyler McGlothin, who's been a steady presence this entire season with some help from Tyler Robinson, enveloping Jabronsky Gilbert. It'll be second down and 9. 2 receivers split to the left. I formation. Play action. Ryan steps up. He's going to keep it. And he gets out to the 40-yard line, but Tyler Robinson was right there for the ride.
Hey, Tyler Robinson is making a believer out of me right now. He continues to make plays in the defense. It's not too often where a defensive end gets double-digit tackles, you know, and it's only the third quarter. He's looking at right now 15, 16, possibly even 20 tackles at the rate he's going right now.
Tyler Robinson got the tackle. Herbert got his picture on television. He got the shot. Timeout called by Milan with 10:14 to go in the fourth quarter. And again, Jeff Morris will confab with his quarterback, Zach Ryan. You see Clay Anderson, the tight end, there as well.
Well, you had to figure that they had in their game plan, they had to account for Tyler Robinson. And right now, he's sitting at 12 tackles with how much time on the clock? 10-14.
You think Morris is chewing on Zach a little, thinking he pulled it down and ran a little bit too quickly?
Yeah,
came up on the play too fast.
He might be a little gun shy right now in that pocket. I think, earlier he took the sack and got the fumble, and obviously the pressure on that defensive front for Alcoa has been very effective. So, it's one of those situations where he's a young, he's still a senior, but he's still a young guy, and he's still learning the game, and he's got to trust that his linemen are going to do their jobs, and the guy's going to get open, and he's got to put the ball where he needs to.
Yep. Coming up after this game, Beach and Columbia for the 5A title. Kevin Ingram on the call with Kelly Holcomb across the middle, and it's intercepted.
Is that a Robinson?
Dan Robinson.
Hey, they were in cover
That's
zero.
Nathaniel's brother, by the way. To make it clear, Nathaniel and Dan are twin brothers, and Tyler is their cousin.
There you go. You see one of the Robinson coming on the edge blitz right here, and they play cover zero behind it. Got his hands on it. Great concentration. Way to make a play.
Nathaniel pressured him, and Daniel got the pick.
Yeah.
Darrell Warren was also in there.
It's a Robinson family affair tonight.
4 turnovers.
You got one with 12 tackles, one with a fumble recovery, and the other one now has a pick. That's pretty impressive by the Robinson family.
It is. And so Austin Tallant out on first down from the 27. Unleashes Toney. Almost turns the corner. Still with that lean, he gets out to the 34. Avery Williamson, his constant companion.
I was going to say, if Mr. Williamson wasn't there, we might still be watching him run right now.
Yeah. So the play picks up about 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. A workmanlike effort tonight for JaRon Toney. As we get inside of 10 minutes, the clock very quickly becoming the enemy of the Bulldogs of Milan. Toney again, likes that left side. This time he broke a tackle, got to the second level and into the Milan secondary for a first down at the 43.
Again, this is kind of what they did there late in that first quarter. They start hitting the outside edge, that lead, pull the guard, and
plants that left foot and cuts it inside.
And you have that fullback to seal the edge for you, do the kick out. All you got to do is follow your blockers and plant your foot, and he said hit the hole.
Trey Milan prevented an even longer gain with a nice ankle tackle, but it'll be 1st and 10 for the Tornadoes at the 43. Tallant on first down. Hands it to the up back, and that'll be Heron Tyson with a short gain. He lost 1. Still time melting off the clock.
This is an important drive for both teams. I think Milan is still in the game, so to speak. They're going to have to do some things offensively, obviously, but if they can stop them here, they can still have a chance.
One of the reasons why Alcoa has been such a good second-half team, Kevin, is that their offensive line only plays one way.
Yeah.
Gary Rankin, the coach, said, we're able to make adjustments because of that. They're not out there playing defense. We can talk to them during the defensive series. It's Toney again, room to roam, across midfield. Out of bounds, close to the 40-yard line of Milan, and all of a sudden, that offensive line is starting to take over the game.
If you look, it's a trap, pull trap, guard and tackle both trap, and they both come. You see a lot of that in the NFL nowadays. They pull both linemen from the opposite side, and they try to make a play. One seals the first man to show, and the other one kicks out.
And here's a great end zone shot again, planting that left foot, and all of a sudden, JaRon Toney's gains are coming in bigger chunks because his offensive line is starting to own the point of attack.
This is back on your point about the lineman being able to go one way. That's such an important thing, especially for the linemen. The skill guys maybe get away with it somewhat, but to be effective on the line, I think, offensive and defensive lines at this day and age, you can play one way, you can be pretty efficient, pretty effective.
Toney over 100 yards, Bulls ahead for a couple more. Zach Sutton and The ever-popular Avery Williamson. Avery Williamson is going to be doing some great things on Saturday for the Kentucky Wildcats. They've had some very good success. Another Alcoa player, Randall Cobb, went on to bigger and better things at Kentucky, to say the least.
Yeah, I know a lot of
How
people.
did Tennessee let him
That's
go?
what I say. Is how the people look at how did he get out of the state. There goes that full play again.
JaRon Toney again, behind a convoy, out of bounds at the 35. Do I see a flag? I do. So we'll see if it's a late hit or a hold as he tried to turn the corner from our lead official. Mike Hammondtree says somebody grabbed the face mask. So the drive continues for Alcoa as they are looking to apply the knockout punch to this very game and determined Milan team.
Defense, 5-yard penalty will result be a first down.
So a 5-yard infraction will move it inside the 30. And Avery Williamson got a little bit of the cage.
Inadvertent, obviously, but there you go again, trying to make something happen for his team.
7:22 to go in the fourth quarter. And again, we'll be awarding the Blue Cross Bowl Player of the Game as well as the Blue Cross Blue Shield Tennessee Move of the Game. Maybe we haven't seen it yet. Although I'm thinking JaRon Toney might figure prominently in one or both of those.
Oh, definitely.
First down for the 29. Toney again, left side, has a hole. Across the 20 up to the 16-yard line. And another first down for the Tornadoes. This has easily been their best offensive drive.
Yeah. You know, they found something. They've been pulling from the strong side, pulling everybody weak, and just down blocking, kick out, and fullback lead.
A nice block leveled there by Derek Evans, the right guard, who pulled on the play. And a timeout called by Milan.
It's a good timeout right here.
To just allow the Bulldogs to catch their breath.
That's a good timeout. They almost needed a couple of plays ago. Just kind of rebuke the guys, get them back focused. Up until this point, and that one other drive in the first quarter, they've played a pretty stout game up front on the defense side of the ball.
Well, you look at this Alcoa team, you got the Mr. Football finalist in Tyler Robinson. And then you look on that offensive line, and, you know, we've talked about the right tackle, John Birchfield, the aforementioned Derek Evans, Gary Rankin's son, center John Tucker Rankin, but should also mention, you know, Marcel Walden. We highlighted him on a play where he opened up a big hole for Toney. But Justin Marsh, the left guard, is the leader of this group. And these guys have a great work ethic. Not particularly big if you look at their sizes. So you got 255, you got 240, 220, 265, and 250. A little bit larger than average. And really, for the first time since they got those two turnovers, Alcoa is in the Farm Bureau Insurance red zone. On 1st and 10 from the 15, a handoff inside to Tyson, who's built for rough terrain, and he gets up to the 10.
I guarantee they'll have two hands on the football this drive.
Now the backup, and we might see him for a snap or two, to Toney is a kid named Vanderbilt Hambrick. V. Hambrick is what they call him. But next year, he's going to have Tyson blocking for him. And it could be a big year as Toney moves on. Play picked up 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. So Toney the lone setback.
That's what you're saying, Mark. Programs like Alcoa, they can reload.
On the toss, Toney gets close to the 5-yard line. It'll, depending on where they put it, it looks like it'll be 3rd and short.
Yeah, obviously Alcoa hasn't gone through a rebuilding process like a lot of high schools, even college or pro teams do. They kind of reload. They just have athletes galore out there.
And speaking to Gary last year, Gary Rankin, even as they came to state, they won state. It was funny what he said. He goes, They better get us now, because he said next year we have a chance to be really good. And he was quite prophetic. Alcoa 0 for 5 on third down, looking at 3rd and 1.
I'm going to go ahead and venture and say that they'll get this one. I'm going to step out on a limb for you, Mark.
All right. There's Toney. You're right. As he gets to the 3.
Third and 2 inches. That was me stepping out on a limb.
There you go. As we get down to the 5:30 mark, as they'll restart the clock right after the first down indication. Alcoa, 11th play of this drive. Unless something dramatic happens.
Look at it, milking the clock.
Yeah, they're about to crack the end zone for the 3rd time in this game. And that would pretty much snuff out any faint hopes Milan has of pulling the upset. On 1st and goal, why not give it to Toney, who stopped short of the goal line by a very determined defense.
Comes a triple stack.
Rodney Nance wanted to get proper credit.
The triple stack back comes in, the extra lineman.
They like that, they like that smokestack eye. Getting all emotional just thinking about the touchdown. Toney, 25 carries, 131 yards. So it'll be 2nd down and goal from the 1. And you see the smokestack as they bring in Caleb Mangrum, the backup tight end. Toney plows ahead, and he's in for the 3rd time this game. And they can start thinking about the victory speech on the Alcoa side. The Tornadoes are out to a 20-0 lead.
This drive was about the only drive that they sustained pretty much all night. Milan has pretty much played a pretty solid game on defense. They look a little worn down a little bit. They've been out there quite a bit because Milan's offense hadn't done anything other than really in that 3rd quarter. So, it's been impressive of a game for them.
Roberto Castro tacks on the 21st point, 21-0 Alcoa, 4:28 to go with a 3A title.
We'll be in Nashville, Sevierville, Knoxville, Decaturville, Whiteville, Shelbyville, Graysville, Brownsville, Memphis, Chattanooga, Brentwood, Bell, Buckle, Ducktown, Jamestown, Tri-Cities, Mountain City, Lynchburg, Gatlinburg, Copper Hill, Berry Hill, Bulls Gap, Bellmead. We're gonna get you, don't you see? We'll be everywhere, man. Lawbreakers should beware, man. Y'all won't have a prayer, man. If you're traveling, we'll be there, man. We'll be everywhere.
Law enforcement is on the lookout for impaired drivers. Booze it and lose it.
Do you know where I can find drill bits? L7. Thank you.
Hey, aren't you Charlie?
Charlie's here?
Charlie?
Charlie?
People know that farmers have some of the best advice around, like you don't have to be a farmer to save money with Farm Bureau Insurance. Farm Bureau Insurance. Tennessee turns to us.
Charlie, pick up on line 1.
This happens a lot. Hi, can I talk to you just for a second? I just saw that you came out of Red Lobster.
Yeah, we did.
How much did you spend in there?
50-something.
Okay, yikes. Well, could I show you what you could have got at Captain D's? A wild Alaskan salmon dinner, seafood scampi platter, seasoned tilapia dinner,
Yeah.
shrimp skewers,
That is very, very good.
shrimp lovers trio. All this plus $15 back as well.
Are you serious?
Try Captain D's delicious Shrimp Lovers Trio, seasoned tilapia dinner, seafood scampi platter, and more. Sit-down food at fast food prices.
On the next Friday Night SmackDown, he's arrogant.
Nobody can match my unlimited potential.
Sinister.
Brutally aggressive.
He's Drew McIntyre. And with an endorsement from Mr. McMahon,
A future world champion.
Drew McIntyre does what he wants, when he wants.
The party's over.
Friday Night SmackDown.
Tonight at 9:30 on MyTV30.
4:28 to go in the 4th quarter. Alcoa that close to a 6th straight state title. Mark Howard, Kevin Dyson, Murphy Fair doing yeoman's work down in the field. And Roberto Castro set to kick off to Trey Milan.
I got a stat for you, Mark.
And Tim Atkinson, yes.
Alcoa, 169 total yards, 0 of that passing.
Doesn't need it. And stopped.
Great cover.
On the 11-yard line on a great stop. I'll tell you, there have been so many great contributions here. And right there in that particular case, making the tackle on special teams for Alcoa was Joe Cooper, who had a big tackle and a big fumble recovery on defense. So Zach Ryan and company shut out so far, 4 turnovers, hampering their effort. And Jabrowski-Gilbert ahead for about a yard.
They're going to have to go to the air here if they want to get some points on the board.
Tackle by number 28, Herbert.
Milan had worked all summer with the searing memory of losing to Alcoa last year. They worked hard in the weight room. They wanted to get stronger. They wanted to close the gap between them and the Tornadoes. As he swings it out to Gilbert, his first catch of the game. And Gilbert, like he got shaken up on that play, but he's a tough kid. He's back up. It'll be 3rd down and 5. Alcoa just doesn't make mistakes. A friend of mine in the coaching business said they are ruthlessly efficient.
Yeah.
How about that? Since 2005, they've only allowed 33 points in 5 state title games.
Wow.
And Gilbert across the 20, close to a first down. It'll be 4th and 1, and you figure they'll go for it. At this point, they've got nothing to lose.
Clock's still slowly ticking away.
So Alcoa has played this seed before, 10-1 in state title games. Pretty soon it'll be 11-1. And Gary Rankin, their coach, on his way to adding another pelt to his state title collection. It'll be his 8th title.
Wow.
I don't care what league you play in.
That's pretty impressive, man. He has a formula that he uses, and obviously it's working.
I have a sneaking suspicion we'll see him again next year. So it'll be 1st and 10 as we come up on the 2:30 mark of this game. Ryan handing it off to Gilbert. A little surprised they're not throwing the ball more.
Yeah, I'm a lot surprised. I thought you were going to give you guys a chance, maybe put some points on the board. And, maybe he just wants to give his workhorse some carries and just let him establish himself and go out on his terms.
Well, Gilbert and Williamson will be moving on, as well as Ryan. 2 trips to the state championship game, not shabby. Ryan's going to throw. Goes downfield for Dominic Moore. It is incomplete. Threw into double coverage, almost intercepted. And Austin Tallant, the quarterback, almost had himself a pick. He isn't involved much in the passing game. He's been involved more in their passing game than his own.
Yeah, they're sitting in that cover 2 defense and the safety reading quarterback's eyes and go to get to the football.
Playing center field, that's his job.
Yep.
And he did it well on that play, as well as many others. Under 2 minutes to go, it's 3rd and 7.
One thing you watch about Alcoa, Toney's played little defense, very little bit. Aside from the offensive line, their skill guys, they put their best athletes on the field.
They give it to Atkinson on the reverse, and he gains a few. It'll be 4th down, and about 5 as Tim Atkinson, a guy that they want to give more touches to. He's been pretty versatile this year as a runner and a pass catcher. And he was actually stopped for no gain. It'll be 4th down. As we get under 1:30. And if this play doesn't go, the likelihood is Tallant's just going to kneel down.
Oh, yeah.
As Gary Rankin giving out the hugs. It never gets old winning these championships.
Man, you got to commend Molly. They came out here, fought hard. The defense is obviously a score not vindictive of what the type of game the defense play. In my opinion, it's almost a 7-0 game. Really had that one drive where Alcoa kind of flexed their muscle and got some points. But other than that, they gave up 2 very short drives, made this game a 14-0 game. You know, this, like I said, the score is not necessarily vindictive of the type of game that Milan's defense plays. So,
start spreading the news. Alcoa about to be state champs again. Maybe one final drive here for Milan as they're looking at 4th and 7. We'll see if they throw the ball. They're going to punt it away. So you're going to see a punt, and then a couple of kneel downs, and then a lot of celebrating. Moody. Another nice boot as it's down on the 35.
No, Mark, I don't know what's more hurtful as a senior year. Lose early in the playoffs or make it here and lose. You know, you can always say, at least I made there, got an opportunity to go out on top my senior year. But then again, it'd be rough to get here. And, you know, it's your Super Bowl, your state championship, national championship. Anytime you get to that final stage, you obviously want to win. It's rough to get here, take second. But like you said, our hats goes off to the Milan Bulldogs and what they've been able to accomplish this year. Undefeated season up to this point. They just ran into a juggernaut, man. They just ran into a team that's built for championship.
If it's of any consolation to Milan, they lost to the best team in the state.
Yeah, exactly.
Not a lot of question there. Tallant. Gonna hand it off to Toney one more time as we get inside of a minute. So Gary Rankin, another outstanding team, another outstanding job. He loves high school football. He appreciates the history involved in the state of Tennessee. He's calling a timeout probably to let his seniors come out and to give them the ovation they deserve.
Class act by Rankin right there. Congratulating his players, man. Some of the guys that fought, bled, sweated, tears for him, man. Just getting the opportunity to go out on their own terms, win another championship, man. Just a class act.
There was a time in his life where Gary probably could have moved up and coached college football, but he loves the high school game. He stayed at Riverdale until I think he read the landscape, and he knew that the talent was going to be diluted with the influx of all those high schools in the Rutherford County area.
It's a very good football area.
Yes, it is. You know, but it used to be almost exclusive.
Riverdale.
Yeah, it must. Yeah, he had a dynasty going, and now he goes to Alcoa, and he's got another dynasty. He's got 4 straight state championships.
And off to number 12.
Or if there's more pressure to him on that, winning 4 straight or trying to win your first. You know, when you kind of got things rolling consecutively, that's a lot of pressure.
Ezekiel Coco, a freshman, gets his first touch, and they're going to count it down on the Alcoa side. They don't have to take another snap. 6 in a row for the Tornadoes.
It's a good football game. Like I said, the score not been dictated with the type of game that Milan actually played. You turn the ball over inside your territory, you're going to get those points. Just about any team is going to score in a 1-yard field.
The unstoppable Tornadoes coronate a 6th state championship, winning 21-0. A standout performance by JaRon Toney. You see a very disconsolate Bo Van Diver coming off the field as Milan, I thought, acquitted itself well. It was the turnovers as Avery Williamson, you saw, embraced Gary Rankin. Williamson headed to Kentucky. We're going to see a lot more of him.
Yeah, he's a
as
player.
we will of a lot of these kids who, even though they might not be going to Division 1A programs, have a chance to play on Saturday.
Yeah.
And you see the table coming out. The hardware will be handed out to the winners and also the runners-up. It's a great ceremony. As we said before, Gary Rankin has played this scene before, but I get the feeling it never gets old. 6th grade for Alcoa, 8 state titles now for Rankin. He won 4 at Riverdale. He's won 4 at Alcoa.
I'll tell you,
and if things continue the way we think they will, probably many more to come.
And more to come. And you know what? You look at Milan Bulldogs, man. They had some guys like Gilbert and Williamson and Bledsoe. Some guys stepped up and played, and unfortunately, it just wasn't a card for them today. You know, it's just they ran into a juggernaut. They ran into, as you mentioned, the best high school team.
And you know what? I'm pretty sure when we look at the final stats, they'll have more total yards than Alcoa, but the turnovers, and they will argue that they met the enemy, and it was us.
Yeah, exactly.
They said they pushed the self-destruct button, and that was really the worst enemy. Those turnovers, 2 killer fumbles deep in their own territory for Alcoa. All right, let's go down to the field to Murphy Fair. Murph.
Hey, Mark, thanks a lot. Gary Rankin, the head coach of Alcoa. Gary, does it ever get old?
No, it doesn't. I'm so proud of our kids and our coaches. Our coaches deserve a lot of credit. They had great game plans on offense and defense, and you know, to go 15-0 with a schedule we had, just a tremendous job out of our kids and our coaches, and awful proud for our school and our community.
Gary, somebody asked me earlier today, they said, is Gary Rankin really that great of a coach? And I said, well, that's part of it, but he's always surrounded himself with great lieutenants.
I've been fortunate that God has blessed me well, you know, to have the kind of success I've had and be able to land in the jobs I've landed and just have great people around me.
Today it was a little bit different, though, because you had your son out there on the field, and I know that had to be awfully special for you.
Good boy. He started at center for us, did a great job.
Gary, congratulations. Hard to argue with the success that guy's had on the gridiron, guys, and like you said, it looks like he's probably going to have several more before it's all said and done.
Yeah, he gets to share more than one with his son, John Tucker, and that's got to be a thrill, as you alluded to. And you know, going out there is JaRon Toney, who I think we can all agree is the player of the game, Kevin.
Oh, definitely. Mr. Toney, actually, you know, without question, is a player of the game. And on defense, take your pick. Flip a coin for one of the Robinsons, but I think you got to give it to Mr. Tyler Robinson and see what he did tonight.
All right, when we come back, we'll be back with the awarding of the trophies, 21-0. Alcoa wins the state 3A title.
We invite you to join the movement. A rebellion against all things motionless, where health has a direction and wellness a destination. Proof that a single action can cause a powerful reaction and keep Tennessee moving together toward a healthy future. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee. Get into the movement at mvmtforlife.com.
When you think of mealtime, you think of hunger. Now unthink mealtime with KFC's famous mashed potato bowl. Creamy mashed potatoes, chicken, corn, gravy sprinkled with cheese. Or KFC's chicken pot pie, hot and delicious, made the Colonel's way. Complete mealtime favorites, only at KFC. Unthink value with the KFC 12-piece holiday feast. Get great tasting original recipe mixed with Kentucky grilled chicken, plus a large coleslaw, 2 large mashed potatoes, and 6 biscuits, all for just $19.99. Unthink and taste the unbeatable side of KFC.
One bullet in his pocket, a star on his chest. One lawman stands above the rest. He's Barney.
How's that?
Barney Fife.
Just leave it to me.
He's fast on his feet and quick on the draw. In Mayberry, his name means the law. He's Barney. Barney Fife.
I sure hate to see you tangle with Barney.
If you break the law, you're doing time, 'cause Barney always sniffs out crime. That's Barney.
A policeman's work is never enough.
At crime prevention, he's a stud, 'cause Barney nips it.
In the butt.
Barney.
Nip it. Nip it.
In the butt.
I'm a deadly weapon.
He's Barney. Barney Fife.
Barney.
Barney. Barney.
Barney.
Big Barney.
Barney Fife.
Alcoa tops Milan 21-0 for the state 3A title. The 6th straight state championship for the Tornadoes. And why don't we check out the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee Move of the Game. The Move of the Game is brought to you by the Movement for Life for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee. And it's on this interception, a brilliant interception by Stephen Isom, which set up the second Alcoa touchdown. And for that, Stephen Isom gets the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee Move of the Game. Now, the Blue Cross Bowl Player of the Game will be coming up in just a few seconds. And that's pretty much a no-brainer as we see Alcoa hoisting the trophy. Doesn't get any better than that as the Tornadoes celebrate another big victory. So here's the aforementioned Blue Cross Bowl Player of the Game. JaRon Toney had 3 touchdowns. This, I believe, was his second one. Well, there's 1, there's 2, and 3. So he saw that purple end zone 3 times. And for his hat trick, JaRon Toney is the Blue Cross Bowl Player of the Game. JaRon Toney, a young man who came in with 48 touchdowns this season, went over the 50 mark. And Kevin, I said it before, I don't care what league you're playing in. If you crack the 50 touchdown mark, you're awfully good.
Yeah, he has a nose for the end zone, obviously, man. That's pretty impressive to have that in one season. A lot of people had that in careers, and he had it in one season. Man, it goes to show you the kind of trust that Rankin had in him and his abilities.
In just a minute or so, we'll send it down to Paul Jones, who's done his best to stay warm. Paul, take it away.
All right, thank you very much, Mark. As they play Queen, we are the champions from the speakers here at Tucker Stadium. I'm joined on my left by Mark Wilson, the athletics director here at Tennessee Tech, and Murphy Fair, the guru of high school sports.
The cold guru right now, but that's okay. That's what it's all about.
Oh, it's not that cold here now. Come on, guys.
Yeah, we're the ones with hats. Mark, he's toughing it out. Hey, we talked earlier with a member of the Chamber of Commerce from Cookeville, and boy, he was beaming just to have these games here in Cookeville. What does it mean to the university to be able to host these games? Mark?
Well, it's real important to the university. You know, for us to be able to showcase Tennessee Tech and this great university in the state of Tennessee, you know, to have all these people that most of the times, you know, Cookeville and Tennessee Tech, it's a bump in the road as they're heading between Nashville and Knoxville. So to have these people stop to be able to showcase our campus, showcase our community has been really important. And we hope that a lot of the young men and young women that are here from these high schools, that they'll want to come to Tennessee Tech and be a student here, and maybe a few of them will want to be athletes as well.
You've had to do some upgrades to Tucker Stadium, true?
Yes, we have. We've done a lot of upgrades, and before the 2007 playing season, when Watson Brown came back to lead our football program, we put in a new turf field, replaced the track. We have upgraded our lighting to national broadcast quality lighting, improvements from our locker rooms and offices. So we felt that that's real important, you know, as we grow Golden Eagle football. But certainly I think that's allowed us to host these high school championships, and it's certainly our honor to have all these high school student athletes and their families and friends here with us this weekend.
Paul, you mentioned that Tech is kind of a bump in the road, or you did, Coach, in between Nashville and Knoxville. Have you experienced bumps in the road yesterday or today? It looks like things have gone very, very smoothly.
Some things have gone really smoothly. There's always minor glitches, but nothing that we haven't been able to solve immediately. And, you know, I think that the planning and the leadership that the TSSAA gave us, and really our Chamber of Commerce has just done a phenomenal job. And what I'm really pleased with is that all the different entities, all the government entities, the Chamber of Commerce and Tennessee Tech, we all came together as a team to be able to do this. And it really has been quite a privilege of ours.
You all have got a great staff here at Tech, and as you mentioned, the people in local government and all, but the volunteers are really the ones that have made it all happen.
They have. Without the volunteers, we couldn't pull this off. You know, it's just it's taken a tremendous amount of staffing to do these events, and we don't have that level of staffing when we normally run a Tennessee Tech event, because it's just people, the transitions of teams coming in and out, and really the volunteers have stepped up, and we're so grateful for them giving their time and their service to this community.
I know that a lot of the media folks are going to gain weight by the time this weekend is over, because sitting over there in the food tent, every time my food would run low, they'd come over, one of the volunteers, and say, would you like something else? And just to be nice, I'd say, yeah, give me something else.
Well, Paul, that's good. I mean, I keep waiting. I haven't had a chance to eat yet today at all, so I'm glad the media are eating, but we're running busy trying to provide a positive experience for these young men and their fans.
Well, you've had a couple of really good storylines already. Alcoa winning its 6th straight state title here with a victory just a few minutes ago. And then the first game of the weekend, Union City captures its first state title after an 0-for-3 effort prior to that, denying South Pittsburgh. So you've had a couple of great stories, and it figures to be even better coming up as you have Beach and Columbia, 2 schools that are going to draw a lot of fans as well.
A lot of fans, and there's going to be a lot of enthusiasm. And both those schools had huge tailgates going on here on the Tennessee Tech campus, and I know that both those coaches are geared up for the games. I helped get both of them into their locker rooms and greet them when they got here to campus, and this is just going to be a great game for all the viewers to watch.
Well, speaking of both coaches, I had a chance to catch up with them earlier in the week during the Mr. Football Awards presentation, and I asked them, I said, it seems like both of these teams have an opportunity to put a lot of points on the board. Let's hear from both of the coaches. Well, I think one of the interesting things is that Vance Ballou, obviously a long history with Columbia, one time suited up as quarterback for the Lions back in the 1980 season. So, Murph, special occasion for him, more so than just being the head coach of this Columbia team.
Well, and like we just talked about with Coach Gary Rankin at Alcoa, Vance has got a couple of boys that start for the Columbia Lions. And doing what I do with Football Magazine and the website, there's so many coaches out there that ultimately get to coach their sons at the varsity level, and I think that's about as good as it gets in any sport, but it's really special in football.
Well, it must be really interesting around the dinner table for Mrs. Ballou as she has her husband, the coach, and the 2 sons. Do you think they talk about football a little bit?
I'm sure it's football a lot. I know when Watson Brown first came to Tennessee Tech and Stephen was on the team, they talk football all the time, and I'm sure it's the same way in those households. And it is really fun. I mean, it would be real special to have your son play college football for you, and certainly with these men in these games, high school football.
Yeah, well, we hope to be joined by Paula during the Columbia and Beach game. She'll give us her thoughts on what it's like to have a husband and 2 sons playing in a state title game. Looking at the scoreboard over there, gentlemen, 69 minutes, 55 seconds before the next game starts, so let's get to know each other a little bit. We've got some time to fill.
Yeah.
Just a couple of final thoughts, I guess. As the weekend plays out, Mark, what are you looking for? Can it get any better than it's already started?
I think it can always get better. I think that's one of the things we always look for, continual improvement in our operation here, and to help the fans have that positive experience that we're trying to provide. And I think that we're halfway through these championships. It's a total 8 games. We've got 4 games in. We'll have this nightcap tonight, which is just going to be a dynamite game. And but I think tomorrow is going to be an exciting day. It's supposed to be good weather, right? It's good weather here,
I think so, although I could stand to add a couple of layers, but I'm not complaining because we are having a blast here covering these games. We appreciate it. Mark Wilson, Murphy Fair. Don't go anywhere because we still need your expertise the rest of this weekend. Gentlemen, thank you very much helping us fill a little bit of time here in between games. We have a lot more action ahead, and we're going to send it upstairs to the guys in the booth.
All right, Paul, and they wrapped it up rather nicely. And as we mentioned before, Dice 21-0 Alcoa coronates its 6th straight state title with the shutout of Milan.
Pretty impressive.
JaRon Toney with a big night. He was the MVP. And Gary Rankin wins his 8th state title.